this time. Dirty G here as well. Not bad, not bad. You know, I slept until 3 o'clock Melbourne time. Just taking it absolutely slack this Friday, so I'm loving it. This one here, Critical Space. Yeah, look. Is it Corona Spaceship? Or am I looking at the wrong day here? Jewpies Angels and For Fun. Ah, gonna gotcha. I'm a little bit of hot swap. I see. Excuse me. Okay. This one here, both of these teams, I believe, if I am not looking at this incorrectly, are sitting on 3 wins, 1 loss, respectively. So, without too much knowledge on Corona Spaceship myself, it should be a bit of a tight match. Should be an exciting one to watch for sure. Not hearing anything coming through as of yet. Not a worry. All right. Got any hot takes yourself for this one? Any expectations of what we can see? Yeah, I'm pretty much, yeah, Destiny's been around for a long time, as everyone knows. It's been in the scene, or at least semi-aware of it. Expecting a lot of action in the bottom lane. Expecting Asuko to be, once again, a big playmaker, as he was last time I was fortunate enough to stream for them.
Oh, that's good. These songs are... I'll turn down the music a bit more. Maybe it's a bit obnoxious, but hopefully the chat will be able to let me know if the music is too loud. But a couple of bands coming out here, so Viego being taken away. What are your thoughts on that champion?
Viego, I think he's one that is a bit of a glass cannon, does absolute dumb damage, but at the same time, if you lock him down, you're going to have a bit of a hard time trying to pick up with him. But he's off the board, same with Kane, couple support picks, being banned out here, Lulu and Thresh. Looks like there's a bit of focus going on towards the bot lane more. These seem like pretty standard bans at this point. Lulu and Thresh are top supports right now.
Oh, okay.
Nocturne as well. So doesn't surprise me a whole lot. Yorick is a very interesting pickup.
Yeah, we do like that champion a lot. I'm just actually seeing if my volume is perfect. When the export file was given to me, just quick deviation, it did not have it set up, so I'm doing it all manually now. That's why I'm not sounding as good. But yeah, Yorick, a very strong top laner and able to split push all the way to the enemy nexus. So I'm quite excited to actually see it in this particular matchup. But Sejuani and Mordecai has actually been picked out here. What are your thoughts on the Mordecai's Yorick matchup?
As an ADC, my knowledge on that one is incredibly limited. I think that if there is anyone that's going to go toe-to-toe with the Yorick, it is going to be the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser just loves to be absolutely smacking people in the face and up close. So I have a feeling that Mordekaiser does have the slight advantage here, just being able to extend the fight with his E there. Should it be going in his favor? Overall, I think it's going to be a skill-based matchup. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, so it is definitely a skill-based matchup, but as later the game goes, it's definitely goes into Yorick's favor, of course, having his ultimate. And I'm actually excited to see some Akali for the first time this this entire season, actually. I believe we haven't seen it before, so definitely excited to see some Akali mechanics coming out of either Jimbo Baggins or DSD Guard. Definitely looking like a bit of a flex pick, and the Senna and Lissandra being locked in respectively. But do you feel like Corona Spaceship is targeting a certain player, like their support, for example, on DST Guard side, or they're just afraid of the Donga as it was actually banned out?
Yeah, I think they are still expecting a mid pick here, if I'm understanding this correctly. Still more supports being banned out here. It is surprising to see the Akali come in. She did just get nerfed in the 11-14 drop that happened yesterday. So I'm not sure how she fares after that nerf, but I'm sure they are going to show me exactly what she can do. Fingers crossed we can actually get a decent showing out of her. The longer the game goes, as well as you mentioned there, Akali does benefit the same as Yorick. She is quite a late game nuke.
Definitely. And Tristana actually be taken away here, probably being one of the better AD carries. Just in the scene in general and in just competitive play all around the world. Just her kit is so versatile. And I'm actually thinking of what they're going to actually take away here. Both comps looking a bit scary, but definitely a lot of CC coming out of Corona Spaceship. They definitely got that ice theme going. If only they had it complemented with Ash, it would be the Holy Trinity, but they have locked in Vayne. What are your thoughts on Vayne being a AD carry at the moment?
Oh dear, I think Ezreal is on the board still. Destiny already have picked up the center. We know that there's going to be a nasty poke range coming in. I'm thinking maybe it's a bit of a misplay to pick the Vayne. Vayne's very strong at the minute. There's no doubt about that, but I'm just not sure that picking that into center, not even knowing if that's ADC center or starving support center or whatever it may be.
We'll find out in a few moments.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm hoping on Flick shows us. Oh dear. Oh yeah.
Oh wow. They're running a very, very interesting bot lane, to say the least, with Senna and Set. So the double S combo coming in the bot lane, super either good or bad, but with that fasting center, they're definitely looking for that strong 4v4 with a split push composition, and Tarek actually being hovered here by Hunt, and they actually lock it in. So while I just fix a few things in the background, my dear Cameron, can you just comment on the compositions and your thoughts of which one is your favorite?
This one here, I think that there's just absolutely no range in Corona Spaceship's build at all here. We have a really nice engage range set up and CC coming out of Destiny. Not a whole lot of CC, definitely doesn't compete with what Corona Spaceship could put out. But the amount of catch here that Destiny have gotten to blow up, the late game potential of Senna. Interesting to see whether she does go the Kraken Slayer or the Divine Sundera. I'm hoping to see the Divine Sundera, as that's my personal favorite. That's what I love to see, and I think that's going to shred the tanks a lot more reliably as well, give it a bit more sustain. Interesting to see how Lissandra does. Yesterday we did see, I forgot who played it, but there was a very nasty Lissandra combo alongside a Rel there, so I'm hoping to see something equally brilliant. I'm gonna say this one, it really is typically, as all games are, down to the jungles and how they go in actually pressuring these lanes. What are your thoughts?
I feel like Destiny has slightly won the draft just because they have a lot of skirmishing potential, which is what they're kind of going for. I feel like they want that Yorick to be on an island with Mordekaiser, and hopefully Vi will be able to accelerate that Yorick. But Lissandra being a pretty defensive pick coming out of Corona Spaceship, it's going to be down to mechanics and positioning. So if Vayne is called out, it's going to be a tough day. Senna being the relatively safe AD carry, always the stable option. I feel like there's a lot more room for error coming out of Corona Spaceship. They have to execute very carefully, while Destiny's comp is a lot more forgiving, so they can completely back out if required. They do have the range and the disengage, but both compositions are pretty strong regardless. So what we're going to do is we're going to quickly transition into our major sponsors while we have a little bit of time here, and we would like to thank Paul's Iced Coffee, damn it's good, Northern Territory Government for sponsoring this year's NTEL Northern Territory Esports League, and McDonald's Darwin if you want to get your fix of a cheeseburger over a 24 chicken nugget deal. You cannot go wrong there. And we would like to express our gratitude, because without them this wouldn't be happening, and we're very excited to have them on board once again, especially Paul's Iced Coffee with their anniversary. It's definitely going to be an awesome game coming out, and while we have a little bit more time, we're going to give a minor shout out to some of our minor sponsors. And in particular, earlier this week in the city, I did have a chance to stop by John John's to get myself a taro and coconut shake, and I flashed my next tier badge and I got myself a discount. So if you guys want to head on down to John John's and get yourself a shake or an ice cream, just flash that badge, 10%. You can't go wrong there. And just a minor shout out to Wicked Energy as well. I feel like I should really be buying more of their G Fuel stuff and a lot of other sort of gaming supplements, so to speak. If you want to get that elo, you might need that gamer fuel. Who knows? Any difference can matter in ranked, as we all know how wonderful that environment is. But anyways, we're about to jump into the actual game. And was there anything you'd like to add there, Cameron, before we jump in?
Not a whole lot here. Really excited to see this game coming in. Up Paul's Iced Coffee. Cut me open. I'll bleed it. Absolutely love my iced coffee. Go get some.
For sure. You can't go wrong with Paul's Iced Coffee. I can't wait to get my 6-pack fix from David. Just shout out to David there for helping out. You can't go wrong with a 6-pack, baby. So we're going to go right into the gameplay once it actually loads. And I think David's at Tracy Village at the moment. He's doing some work there. So shout out to David for making next tier always the wonderful image that it is, always going around, helping out the local community and always being engaging. That is the kind of leader that we do want in the NTEL Esports League here in the Northern Territory. And we're about to load into the actual gameplay. Once again, this is Chris Strider, shoutcasting here with Gator Cameron, and hopefully you guys have a wonderful time. This is first time streaming it, by the way, kind of helping out the scene here, but hopefully the slightly upscaled resolution makes it a bit more visible, and hopefully there is no packet loss of any way, shape or form. But we're going to load right into gameplay.
See how we go.
And you got to let me know if there's actually any desync issues there, Cameron, and we'll be able to go from there. So the gameplay capture seems to have bugged out. I'll have to fix that ASAP.
No worries, boss. That's happened then. I'll just pause the game. I'm on 5 seconds right now.
Sure, and there we go. Just like that, it has been fixed. And I'll have to pause
Where
as
are you
well.
at?
I'm at 17, so I'll have to pause for a little bit. 18,
Oh,
19,
catch up to
20.
here.
I'm at
All right.
23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30.
Cool. I'm up to speed with you.
All right, he is up to speed. So a bit of the logos might need to be fixed, but try to ignore, well, not ignore them, but they should be fairly placed. Try to get my mobile up as well. I don't want to...
Easy. Pretty standard start here. 4-point defense. Can't really call it 5. Maybe 5 there. Red side could sneak in past Carly into the bush, but we won't really hold them to that. Nothing crazy so far.
Just pretty standard starts going all around. And what I'll do is I'll fix the interface so we can see the scoreboard just at the start of the game. So people kind of get a bit of a representation.
That one, I've been practicing the hotkeys this afternoon.
Unfortunately, on this particular keyboard, one of my keys is broken, and unfortunately, it's the scoreboard hotkey, and I won't be able to change it till the end of this game. I'll have to go into settings, which is not good. But just looking over the starter items here, pretty standard start coming out of all the laners, junglers, and we're going to see a pretty slow start coming out from Vi, but I guess that's all part of the plan. Took a bit of free damage, but we'll heal that back up. What are your thoughts on this bot lane matchup? Vayne into Senna and Tarek into Set.
I'm expecting the Senna to be working very early to start bringing up her stacks. Yeah, I'm expecting to see a very early 20-minute stack, 40-minute stack coming out from Admona to really abuse the range that they've got right now before Hunt gets the ability to actually stop what's going on down here. But Prodigium is definitely going to yeah, stop any kind of response you would like to put in anyway. DST guard getting chunked in the mid lane as well. Little trades happening in the top lane. Interestingly enough, the Mordekaiser does have mana band. I'm not sure if that's the standard opening. I thought I would have seen potentially a Doran shield.
Yeah, but Sejuani definitely looking here for an actual gank, but she opts to back out, feeling like they want to really freeze that wave and attempt that gank and scuttle again. But yeah, this Vayne definitely getting punished right under her turret, and not much she can do about that at the moment.
Definitely a decent gank by Koi Pro, at least to force out the flash early on Admona here. This is going to give him an attempted regank that's almost guaranteed, considering she has absolutely no mobility in her kit. Fighting jungle.
Oh, a bit of a skirmish here actually happening. Sejuani and Sejuani will probably be forced to flash. No, but she actually just moves out of the way with her E. So able to get out there safely, but very proactive play coming out of Destiny, looking for an early invade and securing the scuttle. It seems that there's little shenanigans going on here or there. Vi definitely trying to bully Sejuani early, but Lissandra opting to push this wave, trying to force a gank coming out. Unfortunately, Sejuani is looking at the Scuttle Crab, but they opt to both back off. And it is looking pretty rough at the moment coming out of Vayne, just absolutely being punished in the bot lane. Even though Senna's out of mana, hopefully Tarek will be able to heal her up just a little bit. It's definitely looking a bit rough at the moment. Already a 300 to 400 gold lead coming out of Destiny. So it shows that the CS numbers are looking a bit rough, but Yorick forced to flash very early. And it looks like she'll be able to get out safely. He will be able to get out safely. My apologies there.
Burning the flash there. Nothing crazy. Pretty much as expected here. It's just a bit too early. Bit of that. Just a bit too much security. He's yeah, sitting very comfy there. He'd already chunked down Pandemonium a fair bit before they'd even come into gank, and he spent both of his health pots already just to get back to 80%, so he's sitting comfy. Yeah,
he's definitely sitting very comfy. Oh, that damage is coming out. Not able to utilize the PTA whatsoever. On fleek, being forced under his turret to farm. And looks like they're going to actually get away with getting a very early plate here at 5 minutes, giving him a good lead. Oh, here we go. TP actually coming in. A very forced engage coming out. And a lot of flashes actually going out. First blood actually goes to Akali. She actually picks up the double kill. Very clean. Flashes out nicely. Yorick TP's very late and unfortunately will not be able to pick anything up. Sorry, Mordekaiser won't be able to pick anything up there. But a very clean teleport coming out of DSD Guard. Able to pick up that 2-for-1 trade. Picking up the double kill. You really want to see that Akali accelerate the game. And that's what DSD Guard has done with that beautiful TP coming out. But Senna being caught out here. Ooh, being punished here. Unfortunately, Ardmona does not have the flash. She will eventually go down.
It's not there.
And finally actually goes down. Pandemonium actually picking up another TP, actually coming out and being forced right into the ultimate of Mordekaiser. It's just looking very messy at the moment. He might be able to pick up the trade kill here. It's going to be very close. Can Mordekaiser actually able to cut this out? And unfortunately, he will not. No, Mordekaiser does kite it out and does get picked up, but a lot of proactive gameplay coming out of Destiny early. And but Corona Spaceship able to respond, and they actually take a kill lead, but they're still down 800 gold at the moment. But they're looking at the dragon at the moment, and the Ocean Dragon's about to be picked up. And they'll be able to secure it.
As we were mentioning, that both teams are showing us why they're both 3 wins, 1 loss at this point. Very even gameplay so far. 2-3 kills. Mona could be overextended here once again.
Oh no.
Safely walks out.
Yeah, so PTA able to be utilized very early. Kind of covers up a Vayne's weak gameplay early in parts of the game. But yeah, Corona Spaceship actually looking pretty solid here. Hopefully they'll be able to control the map a little bit more. They definitely have a lot of vision down, which is really good to see. But all lanes returning back to normal, and I guess Destiny will have to take that trade early on. They do manage to lose the Ocean Drake to Corona Spaceship, but they're being zoned off here completely, so EXP definitely in the favor of Ardmona and Prodigium in the bot lane.
This Ocean Dragon is going to be an absolutely huge benefit to OnFleek and Pandemonium here, where they were really struggling to keep up with the trades that Ardmona and Jewpies were putting out there. They're looking really healthy now at this point, and could make a really big difference in how the next 5 minutes plays out, most certainly.
Most definitely. They have a chance to actually set up another dive here, but Asuko opting not to go for the actual dive, not just yet. Tarek is pretty hard to tower dive in general as a champion, but that's why they picked Set in. Well, Tarek tried to counterpick Set into it, but unfortunately, the goal definitely happening to be a bit of a gap in the bot lane. Hopefully Vayne will be able to make it up with a couple of kills, but we actually have Vi hovering.
Members coming down.
And we have a bit of a team fight here brewing, but unfortunately the TP has dissuaded Destiny to back off here, unfortunately.
A beautiful time to burn the TP here, because as you can see, Quipro is actually on Shelly at the minute. Ooh. In Baron Pit.
Yeah. Oh, they're opting for an actual engage here. Lissandra does not have any mana, but flashes in for a W. Actually goes in for an ultimate to cut her out. It looks like Senna might actually go down here. No, Senna's actually surviving. Vi gets here in time. Will they actually be able to pick up another double kill? And that is a wonderful cleanup coming out of Vi to able to secure it with the Akali. And Set actually picking up the triple kill. Now we have more action actually coming in the top lane. Unfortunately, she has been zoned by the Yorick trap, and Mordekaiser will not be able to have the damage here. Yorick will be able to complete it.
Coming in.
Is it enough damage? Doesn't look like to be enough damage. So
no, not at this point, unfortunately, here. But he's definitely showing us that there is the potential.
Yeah, you can just see for this
nasty shenanigans coming in.
Yeah, signs for things to come when Yorick gets his items with his ultimate is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with. Hopefully Mordekaiser will be able to hold on here. But even though that triple kill went to Prodigium, they just accelerated this gold lead to 2.5 gold. And as you can see, Yorick just utilizing his ultimate to the fullest, just forcing Pandemonium under his turret. And he will be able to get a safe back here.
Grippo is starting to look for where he wants to drop this Herald. Ideally, you would be wanting to either get the Vayne further ahead there, get some more gold onto her, or maybe perhaps try and drop it for the Mordekaiser to help keep him up to speed with Jimbo Baggins here on the Yorick, so that at least he can hold his own.
Sorry about that.
Game's quieting down.
Yeah, it has. And it's about to speed up once again. Tarek forced to blow the ultimate really early. Just that set able to do so much damage, and Senna's actually being accelerated even further. Right now, this set is definitely a target for Corona Spaceship to get that shutdown, and hopefully they'll be able to as well.
Taking a look, there was very little chance of, you know, Ardmona and Prodigium actually getting caught by this. If you take a look at their ward line across the bottom side here, you're seeing 3 pinks being expended, 2 near the middle river, and 1 in Tribush, 2 wards either side of red side bot lane wall there. So they see everything that's going on. They could be getting caught out here, though, despite the vision.
All right, so we actually have a team fight actually opting out here. Beautiful ultimate by Sejuani. Is it enough to actually come bring this fight back? And it is. Unfortunately, the center is picked up too early. Vi actually opting to go in, misses the charging punch onto Tarek. Set actually goes in for the ultimate. He'll be able to clean this up, but unfortunately, he gets shut down by the Vayne. Akali comes in. Will Akali be able to clean it up with Set? It looks pretty close, but unfortunately, Akali's going to clean up. It stuffs up the ultimate, unfortunately, and does not get that proc. Lissandra comes in for an early, or no, a very late fight, unfortunately. Vi actually surviving and will trade her life. Unfortunately, Lissandra does not have the abilities to actually counter this Akali. Akali missing her Q there and picks it up. Mordekaiser actually goes for the ult. Oh, Akali, invisible under the turret, able to dodge absolutely everything that the Pandemonium throws out, but being invisible, being very hard to target, and Destiny actually ending up winning that trade 4-3. The TP from Pandemonium was a tad late, and Jimbo Baggins in the mid lane getting up some pretty healthy plates and able to pick up an extra 160 gold. It is. They're definitely really proactive at this point. And another fight seems to be happening out here. Forced to flash here. Vi actually comes to follow up Yorick. And it looks like Mordekaiser might be able to get picked up here, but they do see the Sejuani, which dissuades him. The exhaust being pulled out by Tarek. Can Tarek land the double stun? Tarek lands the double stun. Sejuani actually lands her passive. Vi might actually die here. No, Yorick and Vi actually survive. Oh, Yorick actually jukes it out with the macro play. Lissandra actually comes in. Tarek is actually going to be focused down by this center, which is not the right person you should be targeting in this team fight. And it looks like they go for a disengage. Unfortunately, no one dies there. Jimbo Baggins surviving with his happy feet. And Senna just absolutely poking down this Lissandra. Very close.
Noting here on the actual cooldown timers, Yorick did actually use his ultimate somewhere in the middle of that fight and actually had it burnt. I don't think his super minion there actually came out.
Oh no, this Vayne. May she rest in pieces. Who they're going to give it to? Asako picks it up. And they're just punishing
before the camera could even give us a fair opportunity to see what caught it.
I know, it's just the camera trying to keep up with this gameplay. It just seems to be very proactive coming out of both teams. Corona Spaceship trying to answer everything they can that Destiny throws at them. But unfortunately, they're going to pick up the Infernal Drake here. And no, it's the Mountain Drake. My apologies there. And they're able to pick that up. Gives them some bonus resistances. And that will definitely help that Yorick in that split push. And you'll be able to pick up more plates here. If you actually pick up the bonus Tower Gold plate before 14 minutes, you will get a bonus 250 gold if you manage to pick it up. But unfortunately, Yorick will probably not have the damage. And they're going to opt for plates. Mordekaiser are doing the same.
Indeed, they're just a little bit outside of his reach. Interesting that he's still covering down there. Shelly will be up again shortly also. Pandemonium could be caught.
Here we go. Looking for a combo. Mordekaiser goes for the instant ultimate. Actually picks the right target. Vi should die here if Mordekaiser actually has the damage. His ult's about to expire and Pandemonium picks that up. Can Akali pick this up with Senna's assistance? No, she is forced to flash over the wall. And that is very good macro rotational play coming out of Corona Spaceship. Able to punish the Asako. Asako did have flash, but unfortunately died in the Mordekaiser ultimate. And Corona Spaceship fighting back. Yeah.
Beautifully done. Destiny are usually the ones that are showing up to the party with more people every time. So it's surprising to see Corona Spaceship.
Oh, fancy feet coming out of DST guard. Is he thinking about it? No, Sejuani opts to walk in a straight line and dies to DST guard on the Akali. So Akali definitely looking pretty flash. They should
low.
They should force that fake.
Dear.
Oh, do we actually have a pause
Dear.
coming out? That is a bit of unfortunate events here.
That's a death due to a disconnect, unfortunately.
I'm surprised one of the team members haven't actually paused this game. Are they that confident, or he's lost internet connection completely? I'll have to find that out.
There it is.
There we go. So, according to tournament rules, if he has died during a disconnect, I'm not exactly sure what was actually going to play out here. I don't think it was detrimental to what actually happened, but Jimbo Baggins definitely had a slight advantage over Pandemonium. So while we figure out what's happening in the pause, we might have to consolidate in the Facebook chat in terms of the captains, and we're going to actually see what has actually transpired. If it was just a simple disconnect or someone has lost internet service, who knows? But it's unfortunate to see that actually happen, isn't it, Cameron?
That is just really unfortunate there. Destiny have been taking majority of the lead here this whole game, and Jimbo Baggins has been playing really well against the Mordekaiser despite the gold lead that he has been accruing against him. So yeah, just really unfortunate to see something out of the control. Seeing him come back, fantastic. That's what we like to see. Hopefully, this won't drag on for too long here. A lot of just taking the opportunity whilst we've got some downtime to take a look at where the majority of the gold is at. We're actually seeing Akali's on 6,800 gold in total for item in the bank and spent. Absolute monster at this point. The only one close to it is Prodigium on 6.3 thousand, 6.4 at this point. And
yeah.
The damage that he absolutely smacked on Fleek with just goes to prove that he's here to play.
Okay, so it looks like the captains may have agreed to mutually move this on. Hopefully the actual... We do have a bit of a freeze here, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've got that as well.
Hopefully... I didn't DC as well. I don't think I have. Nah.
I'm presuming. I'll just get a time check from you quickly.
I got 43, 44, 45. And Vi going to get picked up here, unfortunately. And Pandemonium on a rampage. And Ultimate actually catches out Admona. Can Akali actually clean this up? This might have been a bait this entire time. Senna actually survives. And a 3-for-0 trade coming out. And... oh, a bit of a nice stun coming out of Tarek. Opts to turn around, flashes the wall. And DST Guard definitely showing who's the boss.
Yeah, the front-loaded damage on Destiny's team is really starting to show here. The Akali picking up even more gold is now worth a hot 1,000 gold if you manage to bring it down. Will you be able to do so? Unlikely, but I would like to see it come back, just to see a closer game. See this brought back just a little bit.
Yeah, and Pandemonium was actually looking pretty good when he got that kind of free kill on Jimbo Baggins on the Yorick due to DC, but Akali actually picking up the triple on the back of that. Definitely put it in Destiny's favor to actually accelerate this game even further with a 5.5k gold lead. It is looking pretty rough at the moment for Corona Spaceship.
Exactly. Even with the DC, Destiny are probably feeling very confident about this game with the lead that they've got. Senna is already at 60 stacks at 17 minutes. That's a very comfortable stacking rate. She managed to get in the early 40 at about 13 minutes there, which just makes the rest of this game so much more comfortable. I think she's got about an extra 65, 75 range at this point.
Oh, here we go.
Potentially getting caught.
Hopefully Mordekaiser will be able to use his Ultra Instinct to find the Akali, but unfortunately will not be able to. And they opt for that disengage here. A bit of a fight happening, Tarek getting caught out, and a bit of a nice set flash. Ults the Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser does not have ultimate. He's a sitting duck. Prodigium with the true damage, punching him right in the throat. And Pandemonium actually falls down here. Corona Spaceship forced under their turret. They do have Shelly. Will they opt to use it to take this mid lane turret?
The Shelly is almost a... Oh, can't even talk.
Oh, he might actually get punished here. A shutdown actually goes to Sejuani, and Turret actually gets traded as a result. A very deep dive coming out here. The tower actually finally falling. Unfortunately, Vayne is not able to clean up, and that is an ace coming to Destiny. Corona Spaceship go down from 5 kills to 2, unfortunately.
Absolutely nasty damage coming out here. They've sent guard up to top. They don't need him here in the melee for these fights. Armode is carrying a ton of damage and just continuing to stack, continuing. Whilst he's fighting here, it's not like he's putting himself on the back burner and not earning the gold. He's got the gold, he's getting 4 stacks. It's only going to get scarier from this point onwards.
Yeah, definitely very scary here, and unfortunately the Vayne is really far behind at this stage of the game. It will require a bit of time to catch up, but I don't think Destiny's going to give them the chance. Nakali going for that simple disengage, able to get out of there, and it's nearly ballooning to a 10k gold lead. It's looking a little rough for Corona Spaceship, but Destiny picking up the Cloud Dragon there, their second dragon. Turret actually looking for an extended gank coming out of Akali. Akali thinking about her odds and decides to back out.
Just not enough CC anywhere close to lock down the Akali. With her Merc Treads as well, there's no way that she was going to get knocked down and killed here. There's not a chance. Sitting comfy.
They're definitely sitting very comfy, so it's looking 9k flat coming out of Destiny in the gold lead at the moment, and they're definitely taking turrets as fast as they can and set with the wonderful flank, but it's not enough. Vi is actually going to get punished here as a result for their over aggression, and they have to be forced to disengage. As soon as they saw where Akali was, they went for that engage straight away, and they felt confident, and Asiko actually punished for going for that tower dive. Felt like it was a bit of a bait coming out of Prodigium on the set.
Good catch on Admona. Fleek's hunting. Wants it.
Admona. Yep, gets out. So I think we desynced again. I'm on 20, 21, 22.
Yeah, I'm going to pause. I'm on 27.
All right, that is close enough. And On Fleek actually picking up much needed gold here, and they're going to take this mid lane turret 20 minutes into the game. It looks like they have another sign or breath of life coming out of Corona Spaceship. They're looking for this actual engage here. DST Guard is really confident here, and he might actually get punished for his over-aggression. The turret ultimate actually doing a lot of work. Mordekaiser forcing the ultimate onto Akali. This is actually looking very rough, and Destiny's actually going to clean this up.
Coming out of the Vi. Oh dear.
A lot of flashes coming out, and beautiful CC coming out of Sejuani, but oh, it's so close. But Lissandra's going to fall here, unfortunately. Vi going for the flash play and going for the smite here. And a bit of freezing, unfortunately. I do apologize for those technical difficulties there. Mordekaiser looking very close there.
Both walk away inches from death.
And York looking at the Baron. A bit of disconnect between what they want to do, but they pretty much going to take this mid lane turret uncontested.
Destiny could be looking for the end. I don't think they will be able to end it, but certainly this inhibitor
they could get punished
on the
here.
chopping block.
Oh no, Akali opts to go back in. This is the wrong decision. Hopefully she'll be able to get out. And she will, just Akali being so mobile. But Sejuani forcing the engage here.
Excellent engage, ultimate out.
Vayne is a bit too afraid to put out damage, but gets the shutdown onto center. That is 600 gold going to the Vayne. Vayne trying to pick her shots, actually picks up the double kill on Vi. She might be able to pick up a triple if they can CC anyone else, but that is a good fight coming out of Corona Spaceship. Showing On Fleek, on this Vayne, showing the mechanics and the macro play, able to pick her fights, knowing that she is very squishy. And they're looking at the Baron here, Gator.
Guopro and Hunt really working for a comeback here. They're putting in an absolute truckload of effort, catching Ardmona and Aseko as they overextended to try and greed that middle inhibitor. Definitely for them, you must respect the Sejuani and her engage range. It is actually deceptively long. You know, you can't just expect the ult itself. You got to understand the damage, the dash, excuse me. Is definitely coming out first. Throw in a flash with that as well, and that's half a lane.
It
if I'm
is.
exaggerating, but you know, I'm really
Oh,
hoping
no.
to see Prodigium start to ult Sejuani out of these fights. Admona caught again.
Oh, wow. Survived this whole time, but Phoebans actually picks up the kill on Admona. Bit unfortunate there, but Corona Spaceship are punishing DST's over-aggression.
Yeah, it's maybe the gold lead has gone to their heads, potentially. Maybe they just weren't expecting it there. Admona does need someone to walk her in. She is very strong, but that's only when she's got a chunky friend in front of her.
Yeah, and the late team, or the late game composition actually coming out of Corona Spaceship, because their front line is so tanky, DST Guard actually has to find the right fights. And they might find one fight here. Oh, nice disengage coming out of the Mordekaiser. But they decreased the gold lead. Now it's within 6,000 gold. It was 9,000 gold before. The Baron actually doing a lot of work, getting some gold into the much-needed pockets of Corona Spaceship.
Yeah, on Flick working towards his Rage Blade. We're seeing a Seeker's Arm Guard already on the Lissandra. More tank being built for Mordekaiser and the Sejuani. They are moving. The chunk could be, they could just be big enough to withstand the initial engage, and that's where they might be able to actually bring this one back. Hunt is hunting.
Oh, here we go. Another team fight. Will Set actually get punished here? That is a lot of true damage coming out. The Taric ult actually coming in very early. It does not fall on Vayne, and we do have a bit of a freeze here. But Vayne is able to cut this out. Does pick up the... Oh my god, that Akali. That is a wonderful, wonderful five-man right there. And this might be an actual cleanup from the Akali. That's Set on Prodigium. My goodness gracious, a five-man CC. That is just absolutely crazy. And the ace coming out of Destiny. It feels like the gold was a bit too much, and Corona Spaceship was given a breath of life, and it was taken away by Destiny in an instant.
Yeah, Jimbo Baggins said, everyone in the playpen, we're gonna have a great time. And then Akali just started annihilating their team through it with daggers, and the Haymaker to absolutely cut half of them into pieces. So that was just beautifully executed by Destiny there to bring it back. Admona did get caught out once again at the start there. Flick played that really well for a lot of the engage, you know, catching out. I think it was both Aseko and Admona taking them out to begin with, but yeah, it just wasn't enough in the end.
Yeah, just unfortunately the pockets were too deep coming out of Destiny, and they're picking up their second Cloud Drake here. Going to be forcing a soul point in the next 6 minutes. Hopefully Corona Spaceship will be able to put up a decent fight, but if Prodigium gets right in there and gets those five-mans, it's going to be very tough for Corona Spaceship to actually kite this out. And a bit of a misplay coming out of the support in Hunt. Was not able to get the ultimate onto Vayne, and she did take half of her life in terms of damage. Bit unfortunate, but few misplays here or there. But Prodigium definitely winning that team fight just before. But they're opting to get a lot of vision down in their jungle, and hopefully they'll be able to turtle just for a bit longer. They may be waiting for a few more objectives in Destiny and not rushing into complete the game anymore, so to speak.
Yeah, they're definitely respecting this more. Picking up the dragon, Quirpro is hunting for Prodigium.
Oh, that's a nice stun coming out. Will they pick up this set for free?
He still has the Haymaker if he needs it.
Oh, no way. That's a lot of damage, but it's not enough.
Beautifully executed. They're still grappling, but it looks like both bot lane and top lane are getting shoved in here. Run back, defend your base.
Oh no, Lissandra might actually die here. Oh no. Oh, she gets out. Vi actually stopping the backs, and they're going to be looking to take their entire base. Vi going for the ultimate on Sejuani will have the damage if Taric cannot save his jungler, and that's a bit of an overextension coming out of Vi. But this York is absolutely destroying their base as we speak. Forced the ultimate out of Lissandra.
Oh dear, Baggins nearly going down.
One more auto. Lissandra for the shutdown. And Vi actually looking for the cleanup here onto the Sejuani. Quopro actually goes down. Mordekaiser forces the ultimate, unfortunately misses absolutely everything, whiffing all of his abilities. And Akali's actually looking for the escape here. Forced to flash out, unfortunately, was surrounded by all sides. But surprised Akali got out there. But that is a second tower and inhibitor going down in Corona Spaceship space. And they're going to be looking to go for the Baron to close this one out. Let's see if Corona Spaceship can respond.
Surprisingly enough, that only resulted in a 1-for-1 in terms of kills. They did pick up the bottom 2 turrets and inhibitor. But yeah, only a 1-for-1. I was expecting DSD potentially to take a lot more kills there. Baron is definitely going to be the deciding play. Definitely need to keep our eyes on QuoPro with his engages. They've been really clean so far. Can he get to the Baron pit in time to actually contest this?
He may not get here in time, unfortunately. The jungle is completely black. But they're really slow at actually taking this Baron. Maybe that's why their composition is struggling to take these objectives clean. All right. They're going to go for a 50-50 here. ACST does have the level advantage. And they actually behave themselves, and they back out safely.
They're starting it up again. They want this fight. It's still at halfway.
I'm surprised they're actually taking this because their base is completely open. Jimbo Baggins going to try to go for the Apeke, forcing the fight here. DSD Guard goes legendary, kills Lissandra absolutely instantly. This is definitely a macro play coming out of Destiny. They're going to complete this game while they get the Baron. No, Sejuani smites it out, but this is a clean ace coming out of Destiny. And they're going to clean this up with the York Expeke.
Did not even notice. Cleaned it up there.
It is, yeah, a lot of stuff going on. That game was definitely very entertaining overall, but Destiny pulling out the first game of the stream, and congratulations to them for an entertaining and exciting game.
As we expected, that both teams were sitting on 3-1 now, respectively. 4-1, 3-2. What a game! What a game there. Absolutely, just taking a look at the scores, 15-0-10 on guard.
Oh my goodness,
lord, that is one scary Akali. As an ADC, I'm going away from that. You want me to group up? No, thank you. I would be on the other side of the map. You would never have me in front of that one. And oh dear, definitely gonna get honorable mention to Azuko as well. Oh my, his engages to try and stop QuoPro and Fevens. Their engages were super clean in the mid game there. Oh, what a game. I'm so lost for words here and just what's happened, because it was back and forwards constantly. Destiny just a little bit ahead the entire time, and then just really used their skill gap basically to bring it back.
Yeah, I felt like everything you said was correct. It just felt like bot lane was put behind early and they were playing catch up. OnFleek did get a couple of shutdowns and was able to get her third item, which was the Rage Blade. But the damage had already been done. They did lose a tower and inhibitor. They were forced on Soul Point, or they got Soul Point just about, and they forced that Baron fight with the Jimbo going for the Peke backdoor with the TP. But man, DSD Guard definitely popping off here with a 15-10 record, with a 25 out of 34 kill participation on the side of Team Destiny. And now we're going to go into the MVP and SVP, and what we'll do is we'll start out with the SVP coming out of Corona Spaceship. Who do you think deserves it in this instance, Gator?
I don't think this... two people are on my mind right now. I've got OnFleek. He really carried the damage, I feel. The graph shows it in the damage, obviously what he's done, but in the early to mid game that he was definitely the one holding on to what lead they could, the flash plays, the vein spotting potential there. He held them in there. I don't think that's even a question. QuoPro is definitely the second one on my list here. His engages in the bottom lane, catching Ardmona time after time after time after time after time. Also kept him in the running to try and pull back this game. So if I have to get,
it's tough, isn't it? It's tough.
It's so tough. It's so tough because they were both active throughout the entire game here. Just based on pure performance, I would have to give it to OnFleek, but I think QuoPro is such a inches from taking that as well, I feel.
I'm tending
What are your
to
thoughts?
I'm tending to agree to you there. So their composition makes it really hard for someone to actually stand out. Um, just based off the actual base, well, the stats alone, on fleek deserves SVP, so to speak. But there's a lot of variables that it's really hard to decide what it is. But I felt like on fleek actually had the mechanics to dodge a few key abilities coming out of Prodigium and DST Guard. He was able to dodge those abilities accordingly and able to clean up with the help of his team and the CC involved. So yeah, I think On Fleek definitely deserves the SVP, with QuoPro coming in at a close second. So congratulations to On Fleek for getting the SVP. Now we'll actually discuss the MVP. And what are your thoughts on that, Gator?
I it's hard to call it a discussion when this is more going to be an absolute gas up. There's no question that DST Guard had absolutely dominated this game here. Did look like he was falling behind. He was the only lane that did start to lose in terms of health early, whereas both top lane and bottom lane were the ones actually taking a lot of our attention away from there. But as he picked up the 2 kills in the bottom lane with that gank, he really just accelerated and used his money so efficiently. We don't have the programs or the facilities to calculate the gold value to damage ratio that usually goes and shows what they've done with the gold, how useful that gold is on you as an individual. But I would say 14,200 gold, 25 kill participation out of 34 kills in total. There's no question.
Yeah.
Guard's got it.
So Guard pretty much played a flawless game. So I do agree with you for the MVP for Destiny, which is Guard. Wonderful game coming out of the Akali, pulling out a very difficult champion to mechanically dodge a lot of CC, but at the same time, you do have that Shroud. But I do want to give a shout out to Prodigium there as well. Able to find those pivotal moments to apply CC, apply those haymakers, and it
Honorable
definitely
mention,
turned.
for sure.
Yeah, he did turn a lot of team fights when it was looking a little scrappy, but overall, DST Guard gets the MVP for Destiny for Game 1. Now, just a minor shout out to our major sponsors, contradictory as that sounds. The Northern Territory Government, Paul's Ice Coffee, and McDonald's Darwin. Thank you for sponsoring the next tier NTEL Esports League. And now we're actually going to jump into Game 2 relatively shortly. I'd like to thank all our viewers for watching the stream, so to speak, showing your support. And yeah, just keep on viewing, guys. We appreciate everything that you're basically commenting in the comment section and supporting your teams here in the local scene in the territory. And we're going to get right into a quick or short break, and we'll get right into the champion select of the second game. Once again, this is Chris Strider, joined in by Gator, Cameron, and we'll be...
Coming up, we do have, I believe this one is Jewpies Angels versus For Fun. Certainly. Oh, TFT's great. It's definitely one. Perhaps you're tilted. 3 losses for the night and ranked. Your bot lane's inting. Your jungler's AFK. Your top lane's DC'd. You're not having a good time. Take a break. Go play some TFT. One hand on the keyboard. That's it. You just chill out. Whack on Vice sessions. Hour and a half mix of lo-fi. Buy League of Legends right there. Just chill out. It's great. Definitely a thinking man's game.
What we'll do is we'll just transition to them, and we'll give another shout out to VR gamers that are actually hosting the fighting tournament here in the territory. They are such a wonderful place. You should drop on by, give them your support. They do have a lot of good gaming PCs there, virtual reality and consoles. Drop in, have some fun, and show your support for VR gamers. Of course, flash your next tier badge and get that discount. That is if you're a registered player in the next tier NTEL League. Now, I would like to probably shout out one more minor sponsor, which is, let's pick one at random, Fresh Point Cafe. So, I decided to challenge myself with a triple palmy. I did win.
Oh my.
But it was a hard battle. A lot of flavor, a lot of, I wouldn't say grease, but a lot of fat, so to speak, with the breadcrumb and the cheese. You know how it works with the chips and all that stuff. But yeah, it was $29. I flashed my badge, and then it was $26.50. So I did get a savings there. So show your support for Fresh Point Cafe. They're a minor sponsor for the NTEL Northern Territory Esports League, and show your support. They're a wonderful company that make great food, and they have quality customer service. So shout out there. And once more, we'll go to our major sponsors. And the Northern Territory Government, our major sponsor, keeping us safe. We're able to get rid of the lockdown with their hard work involved. And we do appreciate everyone in the government for making that happen. When it comes to the Centre of National Resilience here in the Territory, which is their Howard Springs quarantine facility, able to quarantine and test over 25,000 people or tests. So it is quite an achievement they were able to get that done. And the Territory Government, once again, for all their support. Paul's Iced Coffee. I can't wait to get my 6-pack. Hopefully we'll be able to send you some down there as well, Cameron. See if David can hook you up.
I love some.
I mean, it's their anniversary, so they'll show their love all around Australia. And of course, McDonald's Darwin, if you want to get yourself an ice cream, soft serve, sundae, whatever you name it. They're here to support us here in the Territory. McDonald's Darwin being wonderful there. Now, Gator, what are your thoughts on...
Dear me. So, as a whole, looking at it just from considering where the teams are at for a start, Jewpies Angels, 4 wins, 0 losses currently at this point. And we also have, for fun, for our own 1 win, 3 losses here. I believe their 1 win was, I can't remember if it was to Casuarina Gentlemen or Purple Cobras. Forgive me for not knowing, but this is going to be looking to be a top matchup, at least from the standings point of view. I do know Blade Exa and Big Fudgy personally. I've went to the same high school as them. Big Fudgy down in Melbourne with me. Was supposed to meet up with for Korean fried chicken with him. So we're still lining that up. Yeah, I'm expecting big digs out of Jewpies, as we've seen all season from them. Looks like we got another lobby, so I'm just going to jump into that one very quickly.
hopefully it's displayed here. Okay, so right now, of course, we do have Jewpies, Angel, and Youngbloods tied for first. They both had played 4 games, and they've had 4 flawless victories. Then there's Job Seekers Alliance, which I am the captain of, the one and only Chris Strider. And we also have Corona Spaceship also on 3 points as well. It is definitely looking like a very tight-knit competition. Everyone able to grab some wins except for Purple Cobras. Hopefully they'll be able to get some practice in and turn their season around. But for fun, definitely have a monumental task in front of them, which is the reigning champions, which is Jewpies Angels. And do you think for fun we'll be able to pull up an upset here? What are your thoughts, Gator? I think they do have a chance if they've practiced. What are your thoughts?
I am really going to be looking closely at both Corruption and Akatsuki. They played really well. Last time I was casting for them, I believe it was a week ago now, they were really leading the game, playing really well, catching out players on the respective enemy team. So these are the people that I'm going to be keeping my eye on, looking for big plays to try and fish for a win here. It does very much seem to be Jewpies favored. I'm not sure if the ranks here correspond with TFT or with their actual solo queue ranked. It's a bit hard to tell, unfortunately. But I do know for a fact that a Blade Actor is a diamond level player. Big Fudgy, definitely a mid to high gold. It's yeah, it's a bit of a scary matchup for fun. Hoping we can rip out a decent game here.
Okay, so while I actually fix the logos and the team names, would you be able to just run us through champion select and bans? Just give us a moment here. Thanks for that, Cameron.
Not a worry. Team's taking their time here. We've got an Ari ban to kick things off. Looks like it's a bit of respect coming out here. Ari, not a typical ban. This is definitely a target ban that is coming out. I do like it though. Ari, very mobile, has a lot of assassination potential. Excuse me, cat's coming in, knocking over my microphone. Out you go. Yeah, team's running the clock right to the last second, taking their time with these bans. Gwen coming out. 4 funds ban. Mundo coming out. See a couple top laners being banned out here. Both Gwen and Mundo decent bans. I do like these. Mundo will not be able to go where he pleases this time.
Alright, so I fixed all that up. But yeah, Mundo cannot go where he pleases if he is banned out from the game, unfortunately. And MF actually being banned here. I think they've done their research on Blade XR when he was doing his promos. But he was just doing his promos. He doesn't actually play it mid, I believe. But if he does, then that's definitely a pick to look out for. But they just ban it regardless. Miss Fortune, definitely a very snowbally champion if you give her a chance to dominate the lane. And Lulu actually coming out as a genuine ban because the champion is kind of broken when it comes to obviously being turned into a polymorph and just applying a huge ultimate to a carry and just peeling endlessly. And a Casuarina
very strong at the minute as well. She is top tier support at the minute. She's S ranked, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. There, it might have changed. Kaiser coming in for the first pick.
Oh,
interesting.
They do have confidence picking their 80 carry first, so they believe that she does not have any weaknesses, but they have definitely left out a counter pick to the Kaiser, and let's see if FF can actually figure out what that counter pick is, or they're just going to result back to a comfort pick on their 80 carry. But Kethless actually hovering Cho'Gath as we speak, and he's going to lock in the Nom Nom monster, which is really good at securing objectives, silencing people where they stand, and knocking them up as he goes. But Kane actually locked in by Akatsuki. Kane probably more of a solo queue pick. What are your thoughts on the champion, Gator?
I really like this combination here. I think we actually saw this Cho'Gath Kane combination last week. Cho'Gath was a ridiculously big boy. He had 7,000 health at that time. Gutless, I believe it was. I'm hoping I'm remembering the correct game here. It was an absolutely terrifying one, and ultimately almost got the MVP, or did get the MVP potentially there. Big Fudgy, picking up the Diana. Nothing crazy here. Really good pick. Kane's a good pick. There's going to be a lot of smite potential between the Cho'Gath and Kane, respectively, if they can actually time it, communicate properly with each other.
Yeah, I'm actually quite interested with the Diana pick here, because obviously I'm a main Diana player myself, but I do play in the mid lane 99% of the time, because I try to play other champions in the jungle. But Challenger for Jade actually picking up Nautilus, and I'm pretty sure that Diana is going into the jungle unless she can actually be flexed into the top lane to verse that Cho'Gath, but that is pretty unlikely. And Karma actually being picked up by Team FF, a pretty standard comfort, well, I wouldn't say comfort pick, but meta pick, just able to do everything that her team desires. Boost them up, shield them, peel them. What more could you ask for coming out of a Karma?
Expecting to see a lot of I think they'll be targeting the mid lane here. I'd be surprised if they don't.
Yeah, I mean,
interestingly enough, they're targeting really Empoleon here.
Set is definitely one of the more flexible champions, so top, mid, and support is where he generally goes, so they would rather get rid of him altogether. Even though Nautilus has already been picked, it can definitely be flexed, and that true damage is definitely very strong when it comes to team fights. If you're able to land that Haymaker, as Prodigium did the last game, just absolutely doing ridiculous damage numbers on the support. It's just pretty much unfair. Set's kit is able to do that from a supportive point of view. So Ezreal actually being banned out, so they actually ban out one of the counters to Kai'Sa. Just if you're able to utilize that Ezreal with the Karma, it's very tough. And a very standard ban coming out of Team FF here. They decide to ban the Orianna. Maybe they just don't want to be zoned, or they're just afraid of the champion. But a very textbook mid laner banned out. Not sure if Blade XR has played it recently, but I'm sure they just banned it out just based off their composition. So maybe they're just guessing at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he did play a lot of Ziggs the other week and absolutely dominated using it. I'm really interested to see what he decides to pick up this time. I think the Ezreal was a great ban. They picked up the Kai'Sa nice and early. That must be a really big comfort pick for the ADC in this scenario. And the fact that they've allowed them to get so many bans off, or like get so far through with that pick in their ADC. This is going to be their pinch hitter.
Oh, I actually do like the Jinx coming out here. Able to be enabled, so to speak, by Karma would be really hard to get on top of. So unfortunately, Jewpies have actually locked in Nautilus, so they just have to press R on that Jinx if they get in range, and Jinx will not be able to get away. But I think Liam's been reading the patch notes, because Irelia is definitely a stronger pick, especially in the mid lane, if Blade XR actually pulls this out, because I've been practicing this myself. I did play 1 or 2 games. The Wit's End build coming out of Irelia can shut down any mage in the mid lane relatively quickly, and she is slightly easier to play now for the viewers that are watching. You only need 4 stacks coming out of her Irelia passive. Oh, Kayle. Okay, pretty textbook coming out of really Empoleon. Does like that champion and is known for playing it, so they're really covering all bases when it comes to their composition, early, mid, and late game. Kayle being that late game powerhouse. So this puts Team FF in the back foot. What will they actually pick? And they're gonna opt for Galio into the Irelia. This is very odd coming out of Team FF. Maybe it's just more of a comfort pick. Oh, it's
I actually really like this.
Okay.
There is a lot of engage coming out of Jewpies' side here, so they really did need some more disengage. All of their damage is going to be on this Jinx in terms of sustained damage. Was a big talking point for yesterday. great pickup, I think, for the Jigs, but now they need to keep her safe. They need to protect her, and there's just not a whole lot of real CC or any at all that Kane, Cho'Gath, or Karma could reliably bring out. So I really like this Galio pick. I'm expecting to see the Galio on babysitting duty
For
to
sure.
try and make sure that this Jinx doesn't get blown up in the first second of a fight.
Yeah, so they've already made it clear what their win condition is. Jinx outscaling the Kai'Sa later into the game. And if he's able, or if Jinx is able to be peeled for, Houdini is going to have a wonderful team fight. But Jewpies, being the reigning champs as they are, I just realized that they either didn't swap champions or Blade XR is actually in the bot lane, Gator, and Challenger for Jade is in the mid lane. So they've decided to swap a few people around. This is probably them just experimenting a little bit, but Challenger for Jade does make sense now. He actually is an Irelia player, so that's what they've opted to go for. And while we go through the spectator delay, what are your thoughts between the compositions, and who do you think is going to be the favorite to win it composition-wise, Gator?
Personally, I am actually, as an ADC main, thinking that Season 4 was the highlight of League of Legends, the peak, the height of the ADC meta, where it was all about supporting the ADC. I think this is such an exciting setup for fun. Just having a whole team really built to try and play around the Jinx here. It's going to be a one-man show. Depends if we see Kane go either red or blue here. Probably going to be expecting a blue, considering they've already got two chunky Galio and Cho'Gath here. Respectively, though, where they do have the chunk, few Jewpies do not. They've got a couple bruises. Nautilus can be a tank, but he hasn't got a whole lot going on for him more than his ultimate coming out here. It's just the guaranteed hit on that one. Aurelia is a bit of a bruise. It can be if she builds like that. Diana, similarly so. I'm sure you know as Diana main as well there. Not really sure how the Kayle fits into this one here. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was just a comfort pick coming out. But I'm really... it's a very linear champion, and there isn't a whole lot of skill ceiling there to show some champion mastery. I should say skill, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess you just farm.
Right click.
Yeah. You just farm to level 16 and get your 3-item power spike, and then you just wreak havoc. But while we do have a bit of a spectator delay left, we will go to our major sponsors. And we would like to once again thank Paul's Iced Coffee with their anniversary. Iced coffee is such a wonderful drink. It gives you the kick that you need, but also tastes good as well. So shout out to Paul's Iced Coffee there, being a major sponsor. McDonald's Darwin, showing their support once again for the gaming scene here in the territory, always showing their support. We're happy to have them on board as a major sponsor. And the Northern Territory government, once again, keeping us safe here in the territory, able to lift up the lockdown, all the restrictions that we've had in place. And we're just very happy that I personally don't have to wear a mask anymore at work or just in general. But I'm glad that that is actually finally come to pass.
All right, loading into the game here. Here's hoping we see a 5-stack. Give me something saucy. Second game of the day.
Oh, very
Show me something. Show me something. Blade XR flexing with the Prestige Kai'Sa skin.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, my monitor turned off. Just give me a moment. Apologies there.
All right, I'll pause it on 10 seconds here. Let me know how you're doing.
All right, I just unpaused it. I'm sitting on 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2. All right.
And we're caught up.
All right, we're caught up, and I'll have to update the names as well. So I see why Blade XR has said this is definitely a streaming wizard, so to speak, to get everything right the first time. But luckily, it's my first time, so I'll be able to fix these things over time. what I'll do is
A little bit of a cheeky check coming out from Aurelia here. The
Yeah.
standard 5-point start here, really respecting for fun, and obviously because of this, catching out their little 5-man invade attempt. Everyone going back to their respective points for 3-man defense. For fun side.
Most definitely, and pretty standard covering coming out of both teams here. Of course, Jewpies Angels doesn't want anything to happen in general, but I'm glad
really
to
like
see
that ward drop by the Raptors camp as well, just to point out as she's dropped that as well. That'll help really spot out Akatsuki coming in too.
Yeah, most definitely. Finally, I can click back into the game. Got a bit of a skirmish coming here out of Cho'Gath and Kayle, just showing a bit of trading there, and Kayle eventually does win that. Cho'Gath does need level 2 or minions to start winning those trades. And it's good to see Challenger for Jade on a comfort pick such as Irelia, and Galio on Corruption, or Corruption on Galio will definitely have a bit of a hard time trying to win this lane or survive in this lane. And the level 2 power spike's going to come out of Challenger for Jade very shortly, looking for a chunk. Poor Cho'Gath being zoned away from the entire minion wave. Hopefully be able to get XP at least.
Once he gets his levels up, he'll be sitting a bit more comfy there. Provided he lands his knock up, he should have a much simpler time. Respectful flash coming out from Houdini. Just in the nick of time.
So, yeah, Nautilus, you don't want to get in that hitbox because his hook hitbox is kind of broke. Not going to lie there. But a good flash coming out of Houdini here. A bit of a whiff coming out of their support and Karma. And Irelia getting a good chunk onto this Galio.
Good effort from both teams all round so far. No real gold disparity at this point. Corruption.
Ooh.
Just respectfully walking away as he's getting burnt down.
So that is a bit of a loss coming out for Challenger for Jade. Just lost a lot of kill potential in the first level or 6 levels in the game onto Corruption. So that is a bit of a win coming out of Corruption. Hopefully he doesn't stay and get, well, is susceptible to a tower dive. But Kane actually spotted out looking for a cheeky invade, but gets dissuaded as soon as he tries to invade, and he's got to hop over the wall. But yeah, the lanes are pretty stagnant at the moment. I guess we'll have to wait till level 6 unless Big Fudgy or the Akatsuki can actually get some ganks going. Cho'Gath looking for a bit of a push here. He might get exposed if Diana opts to go back into the top lane. But what are your thoughts on this bot lane matchup? Who do you think is going to take it? Because Blade XR is in the bot lane, being that optimal player. Believes he can play any role, and that is proven as he's played MF, and Team FF banned it away, so they did their research for sure, because they must have figured out that Blade XR was going into the AD carry role. So what are your thoughts on that?
His Blade XR Liam is just a bit of a hero in his own right. He has been around for quite some time and does love to gas himself up. He does know that he is one of the best there is in the NT that we have to offer. And you can see the gold lead. Did have a gold lead coming into the bot lane here, 27 to 25. It's pretty even at this point, as he was really shoving it in. Whilst we're saying this in the top lane.
Close.
Just getting chunked out here.
Oh, Cho'Gath has a chance if he's able to get level 5, but at the same time, he could be baiting himself.
Big Fudgy waiting on the flank.
Yeah, I'm just surprised this Irelia or Challenger for Jade not able to punish Corruption on the Galio this early in the game, but I guess that's just mutual respect there, as they both know each other very well. And right now, a bit of a gold lead coming out of Jewpies, able to pick up a 500 gold lead just based off their actual lanes and their ability just to get leads by just farming. So a bit of fundamental difference there coming out between the teams.
Low disparity starting to show in the CS that is being picked up. Blade X are beautifully freezing this wave. This is really going to hurt Houdini and his Jinx. This is not where you want to be, especially with Diana pathing down. He'll be lucky to pick up any of these minions. Respectfully backing his loss this whole wave cannon as well. That's not going to be there when he comes back.
Yeah, and it's going to be really tough for them because they could indefinitely freeze this wave if they really wanted to, because Kane is nowhere to be seen. But pretty sure they're going to push this one out so they can try eventually get a plate, or they could probably just do the exact opposite. We'll just see how Blade XR wants to actually play it out. But Houdini without a flash is just really, really nervous moving up towards that lane. And here we go, a bit of engage coming out of Irelia here. Corruption might be forced to flash here, but unfortunately Diana is level 5. They won't be able to pick this up. Oh, beautiful play coming out of Galio. Unfortunately, Diana gets the first blood, so all summoners expended. And Kale actually caught out here. Might be forced to ult. Trogarth is actually near death. And he's going to go for the play, but unfortunately does get picked up. So 2 kills coming out.
What tamales. Nautilus in the bot lane going down as well.
That is a bit of an unturn of events here. So Karma actually being able to pick off this Nautilus somehow. It was a bit odd.
Using the back they had, they were forced off it. Diana, big fudgy coming in for another gank of the bot lane.
Blade has actually made a mistake, but he's not punished for it. And Karma able to flash out really safely here. Irelia could actually pick up this kill, but Galio opting for the ultimate here should pick up this Diana for free, but misses the taunt due to the stun coming out of Irelia. But Corruption
it's a party in the bot lane. Everybody
oh my goodness gracious, this is looking very rough right now. Kane gets level 6, was not able to utilize his ultimate, did not level it in time, so gets picked up for free there essentially. So maybe he fat fingered at the very last moment, but Jewpies is able to make up that deficit, and they pick up an extra free kill from the Akatsuki, which is Kane, which was a bit unfortunate. He did hit level 6 during that fight. Maybe just he forgot to level it, or just a bit of a mechanical misplay. But
couldn't spare the APM in the time, perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps.
What a fight! What a fight! For about a full minute and a half, we were seeing just absolutely bloody knuckled punches being thrown by both teams. Ultimately, I believe that did end up going towards Jewpies' wave, if I read that correctly.
Yep.
What a messy fight. That was so hard to keep up with there.
It is definitely hard to keep up with. There's a lot of action actually going on, but I'm waiting for this Kane to gank top lane. Right now, really on Polio is flashless, and he's not being punished for pushing the wave. It's a bit unfortunate, but I guess he's going to go for his full jungle clear. Kane does need CS to scale well, but Kale just poking this Cho'Gath out endlessly, with very efficient mana costs coming out of Kale's Q, so able to punish Cho'Gath until he runs out of mana. Feel like the same when I'm versing Ziggs, but it's good to see Houdini on the Jinx, able to not fall behind as much. And would you say Jinx is your favorite champion, Gator? Or
oh, absolutely. Jinx is my highest played champion. I've been playing her since bronze, and
all right.
Is definitely a comfort pick. I'm expecting to see big things. There's a very squishy side on Jewpies, so there's a lot of potential for her to just absolutely blow up, reset, go next on the Jinx here. This is a very exciting lineup. It's really dependent on whether we can actually get the gold funneled onto the Jinx. Farm is not looking good on her at the moment. Blade XR absolutely pummeling her with a, what is this, a 25 gold lead? 27 gold lead at this point?
27, 28 CS, yes.
There we go. Math has found me this point.
But a Dragon Gang picked up here for free by Jewpies Angels. Right now, the lanes are slightly behind, so they don't want to take an unnecessary team fight. So very wise decision coming out of Team FF, not going for any unnecessary early dragons to accelerate Jewpies' lead. But at the same time, they're on a bit of a timer with the Kale as well. But Houdini, being the AD carry for FF, can carry those late game team fights with the resets and with the rockets, and hopefully we'll be able to see that. What are your thoughts on this mid lane matchup? Right now, Irelia is definitely in the lead. Corruption forced to buy a Brambles early. What are your thoughts on the Irelia and Galio?
I think this is playing out pretty much as expected here. The Galio is not really looking to gain a lead here in terms of CS at all. He's picking up the Bramble, going for his Tabi boots next. He's really more looking for that global presence. He's got both teleport and his ultimate there to move himself around. He's looking to support Houdini to make sure that she doesn't go down as much as possible, and also to funnel as much gold onto her as well. Ultimate dropping onto the car.
Oh, here we go.
Both of them.
A nice hook coming out, and it's going to be pretty much a free kill coming out. The Karma actually surviving, but gets ticked out by the last tick of Ignite. And another fight coming out in the mid lane to jungle, and a lot of auto attacks coming out of Challenger for Jade, but Corruption able to back out there. And that is a kill going towards Jewpies. Just the hook and the ultimate too thick coming out of the Nautilus. I really actually going for this. This is actually a mistake. And forced to flow the flash and the ignite. And Brambles, that item definitely forces you to burn summoners. It is a very cheap, efficient item, costing 800 gold and able to apply grievous wounds if you auto attack the champion that holds that item. So very worthwhile buy coming up from Corruption. And Kane actually doing a bit of work here, clearing vision, so he's actually going to get spotted out, but he's fully cleared his jungle. A lot of pinks actually coming out from Team FF. There just seems to be pinks all over the map, Gator.
Also picking up Shelly as well. I really like this play. First two dragons are Ocean and Air Drake. Not really a whole lot of value there. These are like the two most neglectable of the four dragons. So I think picking up the Shelly here and waiting for the later dragons, trying to see if there's something a bit more value potentially to pick up later, is a great opportunity for them to try and claw back the gold lead. Dropping Shelly in a lane, easy way to snatch back an extra 300 something gold from the two plates that drop there. So I really like this play. I would really like to see Akatsuki get more involved here. He needs to find his transformation soon. Most of his stacking ability is scaled in its collection as an actual mechanic in the early game. That's how... last time they patched it, from what I understand. So really hoping he starts to get some in soon, because the value of these fights are going to diminish the further it goes on, and it's going to make him harder to find his transformation. Corruption going in.
All right.
Not really finding anything there either.
So favorable trade coming out of Challenger for Jade, but is forced back there. When they see the Kane shadow coming out of the wall, very scary thing if you don't understand what it is. But you might be actually forced to flash here. It takes a lot of free damage and just whiffs out of there straight away. As we're approaching the 14-minute mark, it seems that Jewpies Angels nearly have a 3k gold lead, and Team FF opting to hold on to Shelly until they find a favorable way to drop her off to get some gold. And Challenger for Jade and Corruption just having a bit of shenanigans in the mid lane. And a bit of a misplay coming out of Bit Fudgy here. Whisks the ultimate, wasn't in range. This might be... oh no, he flashes into nothingness. He actually he actually leaves. Yeah, he gets out, but gets picked up by the Classic Q when it comes through. Irelia is actually cleaning up this fight now, and it's a 3-for-1 coming out. A wonderful hook coming out. That hitbox is absolutely broken coming out of a dream to meme here. And really, Polio actually trying to find the ace across the map, but is unable to do so. So Jewpies has just accelerated this game, Gator.
Beautiful pickup. I really like that. I'm just going to make sure we're still synced up. I'm on 36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
You're a second ahead, so should be fine.
All right. I'm just going to double tap that pause button real quick. For fun, scared that they're taking this dragon as they do rocket over to scout that one out. Nothing going on there. All is safe for fun. But yeah, Cho'Gath is really starting to get pummeled now, as Rillian Polio has his level 11. He's got that wave clear. We're going to start seeing this top lane ramp up.
Yeah, he's able to keep up his W endlessly as long as he's auto-attacking. So they've picked a lot of auto-attack champions. Irelia, Rillian Polio. I wouldn't say Kai'Sa so much, but they might actually catch out Kale here, and he opts not to ult because his ultimate was on cooldown, unfortunately going for that earlier trade. And I think it was Akatsuki that actually picked that up. So good find for them there. Actually finding a pick onto William and Polio. But unfortunately, when they got onto, well, that top lane trade, William, oh no, sorry, a Dream to Meme actually finding a hook, but forces the disengage. They saw the dragon being taken, Corruption able to dodge the Aurelia stun, and they forced the disengage, but they do end up picking up the Drake. As you said, Ocean and Cloud, not really favorable early on, but in the later parts of the game, if you're able to get Ocean and your tanks on Warmogs, you can just disengage and engage endlessly while your enemies recalls. So they're definitely underrated, but of course Infernal and Mountain being the better options.
Absolutely, that Mountain is going to be the sole point of this game here. And take a look. It's definitely going to be the ones that For Fun want to be picking up from this point on. We're going to be seeing a lot more priority being placed onto the Dragon from here onwards. Picking up the second Shelly of the game, uncontested, no vision from Jewpies there. They don't seem to have any priority on Shelly at all. So it's just a really easy way for them to keep bringing back this gold lead.
Oh, this is a bit of an overdive coming out of Jewpies, and unfortunately Jinx decides to ult the Nautilus, and they're both actually going to get out alive. So a bit of a misplay coming out of Houdini, decides to ult the Nautilus instead of Blade Exa, and they both escape with their lives, and they had to expend their summoners as a result. So that could have been a turning point if they managed to get that double kill. It would have been good to see that Jinx actually pick up that double kill there. Being a Jinx player yourself, Cameron, it's just a bit rough to watch when that occurs.
It is a bit of a feels bad match. He does have the Kraken Slack completed now. Extra dagger in the inventory. Corruption could be getting caught here.
Oh, they're going for a 2v1 outplay, but Aurelia opts to flash, and at the same time, the Ignite will actually not pick her up. I'll pick up Galio, and a bit of a misplay coming out of Kane here. Forced to flash, dear. The Kale ult comes through. And it's rough to see when you don't have vision. You flash into a bush just to find out there's a Kale ult on the Aurelia. It's a bit rough for the Kane, unfortunately, to see that. Feels bad.
Unfortunately, he did slightly misplay that. Did see a couple of those abilities go a little bit wayward and not quite where they needed to land. Unfortunately, it did cost him the fight. Yeah, that's a really big shame there, as that was a really great opportunity for them to begin their comeback.
Yeah, so Jewpies Angel just barely able to outplay those last two skirmishes. Based off a couple of mistakes coming out of FF, could be coming down just to practice, but nevertheless, they do have opportunities to come back in this game. Hopefully they'll be able to execute on the next skirmish, but Corruption always getting out with a slimmer of health in these skirmishes, and that's really good to see coming out of a Galio, especially able to calculate his HP like that. And did Shelly just get dropped? I can't remember.
Shelly is still in the inventory, does have a little fair bit of time left on there.
Corruption
getting all of the ultimates.
So that's what we call a dog pile, and a big hitbox coming out of the Nautilus. And that's a double kill coming out of the Classic. It goes to the top lane. Really, Polly has had enough. Decides to tower dive the Cho'Gath. Unfortunately, HP does not save you from the Kale if you're just getting hit endlessly. You do need those resistances to survive those auto attacks. But opting to stay under turret and take all those auto attacks, it's a bit rough to watch. But Jewpies Angels definitely accelerating this game and taking away everything from Team FF's jungle.
2 kills being dropped onto Blade Exa there. He's sitting comfy now. That is definitely going to help him. He has now got 1800 in the bank. We're going to be seeing a collector being picked up on the next back. It's only going to get scarier from here. More danger on the board against Houdini and Akatsuki.
Yeah, so looking pretty rough at the moment for Team FF. They're still in it, 9k gold down, but they've had some opportunities to come back in the game, and hopefully a few more actually present themselves. But a Dream to Meme on this Nautilus, just able to hit those hooks from people, well, enemies even behind their turrets. Just the hitbox just showing that the hook is too thick and it cannot be dodged. It's exciting to see that Nautilus is able to pull off these hooks regardless. And Aurelia's build path is quite standard. Shield bow on the Blade of the Ruin King.
5 members down here. Engage is starting to happen for the Dragon.
Oh no, Cho'Gath oversteps and will get picked up full free. Gallia's going to ult into the whole enemy team. He's actually trapped and he's going to get picked up. A nice ultimate actually coming out of Diana and Kale to follow. And they're forced to flash, but you cannot flash a Nautilus ultimate. And that is a very quick ace coming out of Jewpies Angels. They decided to mop the floor with Team FF. They found them scattered to the wind and not together. And it all started with that Cho'Gath just slightly pushing too far forward. And Jewpies Angels absolutely punishing them. And I cannot even press the A on my keyboard because it's just so exciting to watch. I have to remind myself to do that.
It's just so unfortunate to see this here because they did have the right idea. They had the intention of taking that dragon. It was a really important one for them to try and bring this back. They got a lot of tank being stacked on there and would have scaled beautifully for them. But they just didn't have the setup correctly. Jinx by herself on the side coming through the bot lane. Cho'Gath getting caught before they're even set up properly to even start this fight is just a small misplay from a couple players, and it's
that damage.
The entire dragon, potentially the game at this point. Yes, Akatsuki getting jumped there by the Kale.
Oh, that damage. It feels bad a little bit. Katsuki being level 11 and Big Fudgy not that far ahead on the Diana, but Diana able to find those plays and ultimates, and it's good to see another Diana player able to execute her kit very well, being a Diana player myself. But Blade X are actually popping off a little bit with the Kai'Sa Kraken Slayer combo. I guess he can play AD carry now. I wonder if he's going to swap to there permanently. What do you think, Gator?
He's always been a very mechanically talented person. Blade X would not... especially with his understanding of the mid lane, he's got a very firm grounding. Oh dear, Jinx.
Oh no.
Could potentially be killed here.
Is it enough here? Kai'Sa could get shut down here. It's going to be pretty close, but the heal comes out. And oh no, Corruption actually wants to kill Blade XR. He wants the rights, but he's actually going to pick it up. And the triple kill actually picking up to Kai'Sa. They really want this Kai'Sa, but they're going in one by one. And it's not looking really good for Team FF. Unfortunately, they're just not able to get together. And he finally misses a hook with that giant hitbox. A dream to meme. Unfortunately, misses his hook due to the Diana ultimate. And that is an ace coming out of Jewpies Angels. They might be looking for the close here, but they do not have enough minions. So are they going to force this and maybe potentially make a mistake?
They tank this one. They might try and take the game. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they force it. Yep, tank it up, smack it. Everyone on the Nexus.
Oh, it's looking...
This is comfy close here.
People are coming up. This could be a last-ditch effort if they decide to go in on it. They are pretty low on
Jewpies
HP.
Might be looking to stat pad here. They haven't taken the Nexus.
Oh no, that Kale ultimate onto the Nautilus. This is looking very rough, and there's another cleanup. Are they going to tower dive? No, Aurelia decides to go to make a donation to the tower, and Cho'Gath screaming his sorrows onto the enemy team, which is Jewpies Angels. And they're going to stat pad here as much as possible, as you mentioned. Oh, he gets a shutdown onto the Nautilus, and as a result, trades his life to Kai'Sa, increasing her KDA even more. They are not ending the game.
Oh my.
Oh, can you do it?
It won't be enough to bring it back, but truly a bit disrespectful from
It is a little bit.
And you're seeing all of the executioners on the Aurelia selling her build. Yeah, what? That game got out of control very quick. Looked very close for quite some time. Jewpies constantly leading as we expected, but there was always that opportunity for Fun to come back. But really, Blade Xer and Big Fudgy putting in a ton of work. Dream to Meme also finding a lot of important hooks there and ultimates onto Corruption, just really not allowing any form of comeback and just secured the win through and through.
Yeah, so bit unfortunate that Team FF lost, just Jewpies showing their dominance, being the reigning champions of the territory and next tier esports league. But now we're in the conversation of SVP and MVP, and we'll start with the SVP. Who do you think deserves it, Gator? It's pretty tough to figure this one out just at the moment, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, unfortunately, it was an all-round stomping, unfortunately, here. Um, I'm leaning towards either corruption or Akatsuki at this point. Akatsuki did manage to pick up the two Shelly to try and bring it back. They had really good objective control in terms of what they wanted. They had a very clear vision and idea. They said no to the two first dragons, had no intention of taking it, and definitely had a clear path there. And Akatsuki, for the most part, executed on that. Did have a couple misplays in his fights there that did not go to his favor. Corruption held up really well against the Aurelia there for a long time, only really falling down once Big Fudgy and A Dream to Me started to put on a lot of pressure onto him there. Yeah, what are your thoughts? I'm undecided here.
Let's just put stats aside and maybe look at the raw gameplay. And as far as I remember, I feel like Corruption really presented good opportunities for his team to come back. He's able to be in the team fight at the very last moment, apply CC, apply damage, and flash out, force the Aurelia to flash and ignite, and trade 1-for-1 in a counter matchup. I am kind of leaning towards Corruption at this stage.
Yes, I'd respect that pick
Yeah.
there. Yeah, Corruption played really well there, and in the fights there where they did lose that third dragon, put in a lot of effort to try and bring it back from the brink as well. Yeah, I think that's a fair SVP, yeah, for
All
sure.
right, so congratulations, Corruption, for the SVP for Team FF. Now, we will go to the MVP, and we do have a similar scenario to the Destiny game where we did have a flawless game coming out of Blade Exa, but that was only enabled by the Nautilus hitbox hook champion that he is. What are your thoughts on the MVP, Gator?
It's definitely leaning towards Blade Exa on this one. Definitely when all out, really pushing the limits of Kaiser, like really showing how far she can reach and push, hunting the Jinx there in the late game, right under the tower, not giving Houdini an absolute inch to come in and actually do something about this, constantly holding her off. Houdini was very close to actually just being on the correct curve and actually pulling it back to the team, but just never got the gold, and that was because Blade X constantly denied it. I would say that I would be giving it to Blade Exa. Honorable mention, I believe, would be Big Fudgy. Found a lot of really good engages there. Secured a lot of those dragons. Yeah, uncontested, but still had the bit to bag there. Did a lot of hunting in the middle game in the jungle there to go find those kills. Didn't get very many himself, only with 3, but with 11 assists, it's a respectable effort. I'm thinking Blade Exa here.
Yeah, it's really hard not to fault Blade Exa here. He did have a flawless game. He nearly died once, but was able to survive. And if he did die in the enemy base, then I would probably lean towards another player. But I do agree, I felt like Blade Exa was able to role swap into the AD carry role, pull out the Kaiser, and bring up a pretty good game coming out of the AD carry role. So I'm leaning towards Blade Exa for this one. So congrats, Blade Exa, Liam, for the MVP. Now we do have a bit of time before we load into the next game, and what we'll do is we'll just quickly go and shout out our major sponsors once again for the next tier esports stream, and that is Paul's Iced Coffee. Grab yourself a Paul's Iced Coffee, lads. It is Territory's best and Territory's owned. And I did have an iced coffee this week. I believe I did have the double shot. And yeah, it tastes pretty good. And McDonald's Darwin definitely showing their support once again for the gaming scene here for NTEL Northern Territory Esports League. Always happy to have them on board. And the Northern Territory government always having our back here, supporting the local community and supporting the gaming scene here as well. Always a shout out to them. They're always thinking of the community and thinking of us gamers. So pretty happy to have all three major sponsors involved. And what we'll do is we'll probably go to a small break, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes or 5 to 10 minutes. And yeah, any closing thoughts before we go to a break, Gabe?
Honestly, great game there. Coming up, we do have Youngbloods versus Casuarina, gentlemen. Should be another outstanding game here, with Youngbloods being another hot contender to take the season title. 4 wins, 0 losses at this point. Casuarina, gentlemen, not doing the worst at league. They do have 1 win, 4 losses at this point. So, should be an exciting game here. Really looking forward to that one. Don't go anywhere.
All right, no worries. And before we actually leave, just make sure you check out the nexttier.com.au website for any of the discounts that you potentially need with your Next Tier badge, or if you want to check out what Next Tier is all about. We have been around in the territory for a couple of years, and David Moore has definitely been, well, the founder has definitely done a lot of work and strides in the local community to get it is where it is today. But nevertheless, we'll go to a break, and we'll be back with you guys in a couple of moments. Stay tuned. major sponsors.
God bless them all.
God bless them all indeed. And once again, proudly sponsored by the Northern Territory Government, able to support our community and the NTEL Northern Territory Esports League of 2021. Glad to have them on board as usual. The Territory's own Paul's Iced Coffee, definitely a favorite drink of mine, and proudly showing their support, especially in their anniversary year here in the Territory. Is definitely one of our own, and we're happy to have them on board. And McDonald's Darwin, that should be all the McDonald's stores here in the Darwin and Palmerston area, showing their support once again to the local gaming scene here. Things are definitely ramping up in the season. Teams are definitely finding their stride and their identity, and we're glad to have them on board. So, what do you think of this matchup, Gator, between these two teams, Youngbloods and Casuarina Gentlemen?
There's a lot of names in here that I'm very familiar with. I've seen Iron Sigma around, Superman, George Pell, all players who I believe were friends with my brother back in high school, so that's why I've seen a fair bit of them. Django, familiar with him and his Youngbloods team, as they've been around for a very long time. Himself was mixed in with Jewpies, a lot of their players as well. I'm really excited for this one here. Got really high expectations from the Youngbloods team. Have looked very clean, similar to Jewpies, in their games leading up to this one here. Django, very solid in the top lane, always an anchor for his team. Yeah, really looking to see some spicy gameplay out of everyone today.
Yeah, so Youngbloods remain undefeated. They're pretty confident where they are at the moment. Tied, well, behind Jewpies now, as they won their 5th game of the season. So they need to win this game to be tied for first place. And we're about to hop in Champion Select. We just need Dark Knight to actually get that one going for us. And hopefully we'll be able to get things moving along. But nevertheless, we'll go to our minor sponsors really quickly, and we want to give a quick shout out to Diamond Barbers here in the Territory. If you want a fresh cut and you want to look clean as... I won't finish that sentence, but you really should check out Diamond Barbers. Just flash your next tier badge, get that 10%, and yeah, start looking pretty clean for everyone, especially your family.
Sharpen up.
Yeah, you need to look clean for your family, and that current meme that is going around, that is Dom. But nevertheless, do it for family, guys. Appreciate it. But we're going to jump into Champion Select. We're just waiting for, once again, Dark Knight to kick things off. But in the meantime, we might as well give a quick shout out to the Rabbit Hole. If you do want a nice matcha latte or a dirty chai or even a coffee in the morning, just check out Rabbit Hole in the city next to the CDC building, and flash your badge there as well. But we finally jumped into Champ Select. Once again, thanks to our major and minor sponsors for the NTEL Esports League for 2021. And the bands coming out already. The Insta Z band coming out of Youngbloods. It seems they don't want anything to do with that champion.
Zed's very strong right now.
He is.
I'm not sure where he stands on the actual standings of mid lane. Taking a look, he's actually S tier at the minute. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, I've had a lot of fun myself. Just flexing Zed in the mid lane as well. He feels so strong, so I'm not even surprised that's being taken out. Sejuani, respectful ban Nick Truth there, taking that one out. That's not a very surprising ban either.
Definitely not a surprising ban, but Zoe and Sejuani being targeted, like you mentioned, and Morgana being taken off. I guess they don't want to deal with the infinite snare and the black shield, so to speak. Definitely a good utility champion with her ultimate as well, just able to cover all bases of an engage and disengage. So a really respectable ban coming out of Youngbloods. But I guess Zoe being targeted once again at Dark Knight. I guess people don't want to play against Zoe by the looks of it. Hey, Gator.
Yeah, I believe from what I understand, Zoe to Dark Knight is the Zillion for Bjergs, and Dark Knight will not be playing Zoe anytime soon. I believe it's permabanned against him from what I understand in this league. So Definitely won't be seeing that one anytime soon. Uh, yeah, unfortunately, I haven't been watching the games long enough to know uh, the Kaiser and the respect there to Superman. I'm guessing that it's definitely a comfort pick for him. Kaiser's not exactly at the top of the meta from what I understand at the minute. That may have
Well,
changed with the patch coming in.
yeah, so she's in the middle of the pack at the moment, but as you can see, Liam Blade XR definitely pulled it out in last game and showed that the champion is prominent when you even get a slight lead.
Certainly.
Yeah, and Nautilus and Senna being picked up as a response, so they opted to go for the heavy engage, which is the Nautilus, which we saw last game, and the late game powerhouse, which is Senna. Definitely a very safe pick, and Leona in the rebuttal against Nautilus, probably being
Doubling
the slight,
down.
yeah, they're doubling down, definitely. Leona being the stronger, I would say, support against Nautilus, just able to provide a bit more crowd control and a bit more tankiness with her W's. So they're both pretty similar, but I feel like Leona's lower cooldowns enables her to team fight a little bit better. But Dark Knight not hovering anything just yet, decides to lock in his signature pick from week 1, the brand. He was on fire week 1, and he was able to get nearly a flawless scoreline. Things are looking pretty lit with their champion select at the moment.
Fire lit. I see what you're doing here. Nice.
Yeah, just ever since those family memes got into my head, just kind of flowed my way of thinking, so to speak. But Cannon actually being locked in, most likely in the top lane. Cannon not really meta at the moment. I'm wondering why he's fallen off, but he's picked up here in the scene, or this particular local scene, and he seems to be a pretty popular pick coming out of Casuarina Gentlemen, so they'd like to utilize that pick there. What are your thoughts on the champion?
For Cannon specifically, I do remember it coming out last week as well. It's a nice comfort pick coming in. It did do a respectable amount of CC using his ultimate there. Definitely didn't flop on the champion. So I'm expecting to see an equally impressive or effective Cannon coming in here. Definitely something to watch in the mid game. It's really dependent on what he's going against here with Django, taking away his set as well as his ergot here. So
what's he gonna pick? What do you think?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Wasn't expecting to see that one come out.
Yeah, Yon and Yasuo in the last phases coming out. I didn't realize Casuarina Gentlemen were proficient on those champions, but maybe they've done some research that we did not see. But Superman hovering the Trundle. Trundle probably one of the better tank bruisers in the game. Just his ultimate enables him to survive for so long. And looks like they've done their homework. Casuarina Gentlemen have forced their opposing ship ding 80 carry into the Caitlyn, which is what they wanted, but Caitlyn slightly out of meta, but she still has a very dominant lane phase. But Youngblood's composition definitely
does well
looking
into center as well.
Yeah,
I have to point that out also. Does really well into center. She tries to get those stacks. Caitlyn does punish that.
Oh, here we go. So he has defaulted to the Ornn while hovering Malphite. That was very close. That would have been a wombo. Well, it is still a wombo, but Malphite just brings that X factor when he decides to flash or press R from no vision. Really hard to react to if you don't see it coming, but I really like the Ornn pick coming out of Youngblood. So what are your thoughts, Gator?
I actually think this really nicely rounds out the team. We have two very clear, dedicated damage carries on Youngbloods. We've got two long-range engages with some heavy tanks. We're seeing, the Leona to pick up. I don't think Leona's going to be the main engage here. She'll definitely be the re-engage and the mid-fight lock-up. Brand is going to have what they need to chunk down the entire team. Should they clump, we're going to be seeing them spread out here if they really respect Dark Knight enough.
Yeah.
The team composition for Casuarina Gentlemen is not so clear cut. You know, they do have a decent amount of games, but it's nothing compared to what Youngbloods are pulling out here. Anytime they come up for a fight, they are already well within Youngblood's engage range, and Youngbloods will have the opportunity to choose the fight start as long as they've got the vision there. people to keep an eye on, I would say, would definitely be Nick on the Zach, as well as the Brand. Both going to be very impactful and necessary in order to win these team fights. Caitlyn's not going to have enough in order to chunk down all of these people at one time, especially with 3 tanks here. There's very clear-cut roles going on. The damage is spread a lot more across Casuarina Gentleman's side. You know, the cannon's going to be able to put out damage regardless of where he's going. Ari can dive down the fight to try and look for the squishies. Senna's going to build up over time and will only get more oppressive. Nautilus, one and done. Send it in, get out. I think this is a very... I'm very excited to see how this one plays out. I think Youngbloods definitely have won the draft here, but I think there's a very equal opportunity for Casuarina Gentlemen to execute their team composition, find some picks, and really steamroll it. I'm really expecting to see Iron Sigma to be leading this one here.
Okay, so I do agree with all your points, Gator. Very well put out and thought through.
Sorry for the monologue
that's all right.
Get it all out. It's a very interesting point.
My color caster definitely going in depth for that one. But there is one champion that has been looked over this entire draft, which is Trundle. Now, Trundle's ultimate, he probably can steal the best base stats and tank stats in the game from Ornn. So Trundle is going to be pretty much unkillable. He does have Ornn, Zac, or Leona to pick these tank-based stats from. And if Trundle was accelerated in the game, he's going to be very hard to kill and lock down. Now, I've seen Trundles pop off, even in the professional level in the LCK and the LEC, if he's able to get those counterpick matchups. But Ornn was picked into Trundle, so they probably don't know that kind of interaction. But as we have 1 minute left in our spectator delay, we'll go to our major sponsors once again. And thanks for the major sponsors for sponsoring the NTEL Northern Territory Esports League for 2021. Northern Territory Government keeping us safe, Paul's Ice Coffee keeping us refreshed, and McDonald's Darwin keeping us fed. So, well, we would like to actually shout out all the minor sponsors as well while we do have a spectator delay of 30 seconds or so. So we'll just go through these. Next Tier Entertainment, which is a byproduct of Next Tier. Ceratonic Beauty. So if you want some beautiful stuff done to yourself, just check them out. VR Gamers, also running and hosting our fighting sports tournament here in the territory. Gammon, Tracy Village, Howard Springs Tavern, The Rabbit Hole, Pilates of India, is that, I think? Fresh Point Cafe, John John's, Diamond Barbers, District North Kitchen, Wicked Energy, Joyce May Next Level, and I can't figure out what the bell is, so I do apologize there. But we do really thank all the minor sponsors for hopping on board for the Esports League here in the territory for the year 2021. And I'm glad to have them on board. But a major thank you to our major sponsors for making this actually happen and supporting the gaming scene here in the Northern Territory. And who do you think's actually going to take this game, Gator? Is it going to be Casuarina Gentlemen or Youngbloods? What are your thoughts?
I think that Youngbloods will take it just on the sheer fact that their engage range with the Ornn and with the Zac, they have been having really good vision game leading up to now. That's been proven by their 4-0 record up until this point. So I'm expecting them to push the vision line, find the picks, and not really give any opportunity for CG to utilize their team composition and any power that Ari or Senna can bring to the table.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot of skirmishes coming out of Casuarina Gentlemen. I am experiencing slight packet loss. I'll fix it momentarily. And that should fix it. That's okay. So 18, 19, 20. I think we're pretty on par. 22, 23.
Fantastic. We are synced up here. Seeing a 5-man stack and a 4-man stack respectively. They want to see it.
All right. So both teams actually have a form of engage, but Nautilus obviously being favored, being the hook god that he is. But Youngblood's definitely not protecting. They are.
They want to see it.
Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a doopsie. They get found out. Superman opting to take his time getting out, but he will get out nonetheless. Nice cue coming out of Django, just showing him who's the boss. But pretty standard starts coming out from both junglers. Trundle starting on blue side, and Nick Chu on Zac starting on the red side. So based off the jungle clears, it seems that Frog Spotter will have a slight advantage in jungle clear, just having, once he hits level 2, able to get that auto attack speed bonus. But once again, this is game 3 of the NTEL, well, next tier Esports League. In 2021, we do have Youngbloods on the blue side and Casuarina Gentlemen on the red side. And pretty standard starts coming out from both sides. Hopefully this game turns out to be a spicy one. Who do you think is the player to look out for in this game, Gator?
I think that early game can definitely be keeping an eye on Iron and... If I had to pick out 4 people respectively, I think that Sping Ding, Nick Chu on the Zac, Frog Spotter on the... oh my gosh, my English is terrible here.
That's
the
all
big
right.
troll boy. And... and yeah,
Trundle in the jungle, yes.
Trundle in the jungle. Thank you very much, kind sir. Already seeing hands being thrown. Not even level 2.
Oh, what's the flash? Really early.
Early gank cleanses.
Didn't
Didn't need to, but still respectfully throws it.
Oh no, this could be a first blood if they play their cards right. But Nautilus opts to hook out here, and Senna able to pick up a few auto attacks and dodge the Q coming out from Shipding's Caitlyn, but takes an auto attack to the face. Unfortunately, Superman did not see that one coming, but a favorable trade coming out from the level 2 power spike in the bot lane, which is Leona and Caitlyn, which is a pretty fearsome level 2, if I were to be honest, if they chain their traps and stuns coming out from both champions. But I'm surprised Condition is opting for Ornn to be pushed here. Hopefully they're looking for some interesting gank setup in the top lane, but shoved in really hard early, and Caitlyn just whipping her Q there.
Despite the fact that Nick Chu did spend a little bit of time in the mid lane there to go and gank, he's actually still on par with Frogwater here in terms of his clearing. In terms of picking up his buff, I should say, he is one camp behind from what we're seeing here. But overall, he's going to the scuttle first. Probably going to be able to pick it up. That's an easy 100 gold for him.
All right, yeah, most definitely. Unfortunately, Frog Spotter opting for a full jungle clear. Then or not quite a full jungle clear. He's going to go to his bottom scuttle. Hopefully he's able to get there in time. Zac clearing the rift side scuttle. But the lane is definitely set up to collapse on the scuttle. Ari opting to help out their jungler just in case he gets collapsed on, as their bot lane is definitely shoved in here. Kennen not really punishing Django here on the Ornn, not just deciding to auto attack him in general, but he's able to get a cheater recall, so Kennen won't be able to actually punish Ornn here for any mistakes. But Ornn decides to cancel the recall. This is a very good engage coming out of Leona, but might get punished here. A lot of CC actually coming out. The trap! Oh my gosh, that was so close. Another trap! Oh, this is crazy. And Trundle just zoning them off here at this point. They're really low. Oh, Caitlyn goes for the Q. 2 TPs actually coming out here. Trundle's going to actually get picked up here. Leona gets picked up for the first blood on the Nautilus. This is looking very messy coming out of Youngbloods. Shifting actually falls, and Ornn's actually going to give his life here if he actually gets chased down here. But Zac opting to go for the CC, and Brand actually picking up.
He's engaging on Sigma as we speak, and he takes him.
And it's enough. 2 for 2, man. This is starting out really strong from both teams. A nice counter TP coming from Kennen, able to support that team fight. But Dark Knight picking up the solo kill on Iron Sigma's signature Ari, burning that cleanse a bit earlier in the lane phase, punished her severely. So Dark Knight definitely looking like a dangerous level 6 brand at the moment.
Absolutely there. He's definitely 15 CS gold lead here quite easily coming out. We're actually seeing a farming Senna. I think this is a really big mistake here. In the sense of you are not going to get anywhere near as much stacks. The stacks are so important at this part in the game. You can make up for it in the mid game there, but it does put you at such a riskier position. Currently sitting on the 12 stacks thanks to that earlier fight there, but probably going to struggle to pick up any more considering the danger that Leon is bringing to the table and just bringing things potential to punish it so easily.
Yeah, most definitely. So hopefully Superman will be able to quickly change his ways, but that will most likely not happen. But a very spicy lane early on, but unfortunately they're not punishing this Caitlyn enough, and she's already got nearly double the CS coming out from her lane counterpart, which is center on Superman. I guess this is what happens when you pick Caitlyn and you're not punished. You're able to farm pretty much for free at this point. It's a bit unfortunate, but this game is starting to look a little rough for Casuarina, gentlemen, if they don't really shut down this Caitlyn from this such a giant CS lead.
That's it. The Dark Knight still abusing his little lead that he's got going on here, forcing him out. Caitlyn just absolutely laying into this bot lane. Top lane still looking like the little island that it is. Just casually, almost looking like a bro lane at this point, just farming it out. Django is taking a small lead in the CS. One wave difference, but nothing crazy at this time. Looks like everything is centered around the bot lane, as we kind of expected.
Yeah, so Youngblood's probably using their experience here in the lane phase to get these small leads, which will actually pretty much add up to something, hopefully, at later stages at the game. But, man, Ornn's base damage, I think it's quite busted at the moment. Just able to do that much damage with tank items is just a bit unfair in my book. But at the same time, you're able to make your teammates stronger as well. I just feel like Ornn is such the team player in general. Just able to utilize everything in the game to his team's favor. And, man, just the punishment coming out of this Caitlyn.
Provided he keeps shoving in this wave, and I can speak, when I'm saying this, you could talk about either the Ornn or the Caitlyn at this point. Shoving it in, the other Casuarina gentlemen don't have any opportunity to say anything. They're too busy trying to clear these minions. As long as he keeps shoving, he's got the security. Already picking up his plated steel caps for Django. They're really hard to actually find any meaningful damage. Nicchu looking for an engage.
Oh no, he's got no flash, unfortunately. A nice combo coming out from Zach. If they actually play their cards right, they can dive this center if she doesn't back. But unfortunately, Brand's here to say hello. He just needs to land. So, oh no, Brand walks into tower range. He gets picked up, but Superman barriers in time and saves his own life. So Brand giving a shutdown to the center. And now, Superman's back in the game.
Turning it into a 1-for-1 there, not ideal even remotely.
Oh no.
Django falling finally to conditioner with Rock Spotter assisting that one.
As Trundle ganks in the lane, he ganks for the family, and now Superman actually back in the game, and Conditioner back in the game as well. Django opting to hold on to his flash. I guess he knew he was dead at this point, but as a consolation prize, they managed to pick up the first Infernal Drake, which gives them 8% extra damage across all 5 team members, if you are not aware. But Ari picking up 1 plate here. Oh, decides not to pick up the plate. I guess she's too scared of the Brand. But she does have the ability to dodge everything Brand has. So Iron Sigma definitely playing it safe this early in the game.
Absolutely. These builds are all looking pretty standard across the board from what we can see. The only thing I do want to point out, 2 things here, is definitely going to be potentially looking to mid lane as we look to go and talk about idle rubbish. George Pell with his speedy boots, call out number 1, mobility boots, very much hunting for more engages. Second thing I wanted to point out was the build that's coming out of center. It is going to be the Kraken Slayer. She needed to get some tank in here. I really think Divine Center would have served it better. Insignia looking.
No, why'd you flash? You don't have the damage. Well, actually, Nautilus appears out of nowhere, but this is actually very bad, but it works out for Casuarina gentlemen. They managed to pick up Dark Knight in the trade for support. So in hindsight, that is definitely worth every penny, as you got Dark Knight summoners across the board. So he is definitely a gankable lane now. And Caitlyn picking up the plates here on the bot side for free, unfortunately. But definitely has a very good CS lead in front of Superman on this center.
Absolutely. The Superman's ultimate coming in clutch to support their pick up there and make it worthwhile, at least for a 1-for-1. Do have a kill lead, but with the plates going down in the bot lane and the mid lane, we're still seeing a gold lead of about just under 1,000 gold going to Youngblood's way. Not really surprising here. Dragon also going oh, they're looking.
Oh, they're definitely looking. Oh no, if they can chain this, Superman's pretty much dead at this point. And he's gonna die too. Fast runner on Leona. Double TP's coming out, but it's actually going to be in vain here. Kenneth's going to get picked up for free here. He's absolutely trapped, gets absolutely dumpstered by Django on the Ornn. Leona's in a bit of trouble here, but Norlis will actually die as well. That is a 3 for nothing trade coming out of Youngbloods here. So the Caitlyn traps coming in clutch. Oh no.
Just engages all around Dark Knight.
Oh no.
Hunting Insignia here. It's just an absolute bloodbath. Frog Spotter beautifully running down just to try and support what he can. Unfortunately, this DB from Django did definitely outmatch the power conditioners.
Yeah.
Going where he pleases, even though he's not playing window, he ran straight to the front, didn't take a bar of damage from what we could see by the end of it there. And it's really, just a precursor of what's going to happen in the late game here with how Django's
here we go.
Play this.
So they're opting to drop Shelly in the bot lane. They really want to take or match the damage that was done to their turret, which is a okay strategy. But if you're only going to get 320 gold in total, it is not too bad. But I guess Shelly was on a timer there. But now they've...
It's onto the wrong people. It's onto the wrong people. We really wanted to see this on either Ari or Superman. But it's going over to the support, George Pell.
Yeah.
It's going to be golden for the team, but it's going to be really hard to try and translate that into a meaningful
advantage,
the team. Most certainly there.
So, unfortunately, Ari is probably one of those champions where you might not need to do the damage. But as long as she lands her charm, she will always be relevant. But her true damage coming out on the second part of her Q is really good. But if you don't have the items, then there's no point, like you mentioned. You really need gold on your carries. But maybe Frog Spotter will be the hidden carry for this game. Who knows? He's definitely building up at this stage.
Beautiful traps coming in.
Oh!
What a combination.
Oh, wow.
Beautifully executed overall.
Tanky is this Leona. My goodness gracious. And Django forced a flash here. And
Django says, look at my tank. You think that's tank?
Oh, that is a bit unfortunate.
Fights all round. Django looking conditional way too quick.
So I feel like we're a bit not in sync. So what's your timer there, Cameron?
I'm at 55, 56.
All right, so about half a second, not a big deal.
Right, I'll do a little bit of a pause there for us. Should be in sync now.
Nick Chu always ganking with this sack. Oh, okay.
I really like it.
No,
Really like
Dark Knight, don't do it to him. Don't do it to him. He has a family. And he's gone. So, Brand or Dark Knight going for the cheese then ends up working out. He might trade his life for it though, because he actually has nothing to follow up on the Nautilus. But Nautilus taking a bit of damage.
Fights all round.
Oh no.
Brand
he's rooted.
Will go down to the
oh no, this is the wrong. Oh my gosh. Oh, and unfortunately he whiffs the charm, but it doesn't matter because George Pell once again grabs the gold. And the cannon minion does not finish Iron Sigma on the Ari. But Trundle, Caitlyn, and Zac are all close by. It's just a matter of time before George Pell actually falls. Caitlyn's actually going to pick up a double kill here. Who's he going to go for first? And it's going to be the Nautilus actually flashes there. He's in vision. He's going to fade away. And he actually shields himself with the fry pan shield on the way out. That is pretty impressive, to say the least. Bit of nice mechanics coming out of George here. And look at Django here, just chilling. Unfortunately misses. He could actually die to a cannon combo if he actually sees it. But he's a bit too late on that rotation. He can still go for it, but he opts not to. So he's a bit scared of the Django Ornn special.
Django's tank here, most certainly. fights all round. 3 minutes solid straight. Just an absolute bloodbath coming out. And Youngblood's definitely taking the lead. Got to this one. All set up off the back of Dark Knight's little hot potato play with the pyroclasm in that bush halfway up the lane.
Oh, he was sitting in there just biding his time. Oh, it's good to see, but it's a bit sad as well. You have to resort to those tactics, but win the game nonetheless. If you care for bush, so be it. If you have to, you know, require those plays, but that's what happens when you don't have vision. That's just the result of the game. But mid tower actually gonna fall here, but able to survive one more wave. So Youngbloods have a 3.5k or 3.6k gold lead coming into this at the 16-minute mark.
Looking to pick up the Shelly, does secure the second one of the game here, and I believe that will be the final one.
Oh no, who's going to get caught out here? Caitlyn's in a tough spot, forced to flash. That Kennen ultimate was not the best. They're absolutely going to get punished for this. This is a dogpile fight. Absolutely gets dumpstered. All 5 team members are here, and they forced that engage, unfortunately. And Iron Sigma forced to use the rest of her ultimate just to escape. And that was a good pick, but unfortunately they chased it a bit too far. They didn't recognize that all they needed to do was to burn the Caitlyn summoner, disengage, then re-engage. But when you engage with no vision, you get punished. So Youngbloods able to pick up 3 kills there, uncontested.
That's it. That's just the power and what we were expecting to see, both between Django's ultimate as well as the Zac coming out. It's just too much CC, especially when they're clumped here. They need to spread out. They need to try and use Conditioner as their front man, with George Pell coming in second, just to try and mitigate the damage coming in. Unfortunately, Youngbloods just executed it too well.
Most definitely. So no more sneaky shenanigans coming out of Youngbloods. They're clearing vision completely and putting vision of their own. But George Pell trying to do what he can to get some vision down into the river. It's come to that point where Youngbloods are now going to pressure Casuarina Gentlemen into some dragon plays. And of course, Infernal and Mountain actually being picked up here. And it's just a matter of time before Casuarina Gentlemen have to 100% commit to a next dragon. It's just a matter of when. But when you're 7k gold down, it's a bit rough, isn't it, Gator?
Absolutely. And this is an air drake. This is definitely not something that you're really hoping to see. This is definitely not a dragon that's going to assist you. On the plus side, it's not going to be assisting the enemy team in actually propelling their lead with any dragon individually.
Oh.
Certainly it's going to assist them with the ultimate and the soul point. Could be looking for an engage.
They're a bit spread out here. They could punish someone. Oh no, Leona's really caught out here. But Casuarina Gentlemen are just afraid to pull the trigger here. This Ornn is so intimidating, and they just don't know where Zac is at the moment, and they opt to disengage. So look at Dark Knight, always finding the flanks with those perfect angles.
Got to give an honorable mention to George Pell here. He cleared out every single ward that they had placed in the eastern jungle there. He's fighting really hard to try and make sure that they maintain, even now, punching wards, taking it back, making sure that Frog Spotter is still...
And they're going to punish Bran here. His Dark Knight overstepped. He can't. Oh, he finally gets his ult off. No, he failed to get his ult off. This is a favorable fight for Casuarina Gentlemen here. They should pick up the Zac as well. Ornn comes in with the ultimate. Norlis is trying to peel for his team and buy enough time. Senna just does not have the damage. Iron Sigma finally enters the fight. It lands the charm onto Caitlyn. Caitlyn gets a double kill, but Ari actually gets a shutdown. Senna can actually clean up this fight here with the red buff. Trundle trolling as he would with no HP. And that is a 4-for-1 coming out of Casuarina Gentlemen. They have just brought life back into this game. And that is lovely to see. And Dark Knight actually being punished for being overly aggressive with his positioning.
Absolutely. You did call out at the start of the game. We should not neglect Frog Spotter's Trundle pick here. His ultimate kept him alive through that fight. Definitely just reassuring us that that was the correct pick. He stole the stats. I'm not sure who from, but it definitely paid off. He's got a multitude of tanks to choose from. Gimme the armor. And it definitely paid off there, giving time for Iron Sigma to actually come in and clean up the fight.
Oh, so I really like Frog Spotter's build here. So he opted for a Divine Sunderer, which is actually really good for his overall DPS throughout the game. But looks like they're going to take blue buff here away from Casuarina Gentlemen. So Dark Knight getting a bit of revenge here, but now they're actually forced to respond to this Drake, or feel forced to respond.
Caitlin's on the inside of this pit.
Oh no.
Will they punish this? No.
All right, so she does not have her E for 15 seconds. So maybe that's maybe that's an indicator they can actually force this through.
Setup.
Oh no, Brand's overstepped once again, but they opt to not engage. They're going to absolutely dogpile onto this Casuarina Gentleman team. They all escape with their lives. Zack's actually engaged here. A nice charm coming out of Ari, but is not enough. And Dark Knight picks up Frog Spotter, and George Pell also falls in response. And Cloud Drake being picked up here. They might actually force the Baron here.
Straight on over. Come along, boys. Time to claim the trophy. Just again, Youngblood's really just showing us why they're winning. Again, Django with his ultimate here. The Call of the Forge God. Yes, that is a direct representation of what's going on. And yeah, Nick choosing Engage Rage, flying right on in for the second engage there. They just have too much range for them to contest with, so much tank. It's so hard for them to find a viable way to actually come into the fights and stay in there.
All right, Baron is falling to 2k, 1k, and oh no, they actually take this fight. This is a really good fight coming out of Casuarina Gentlemen. They just do not have the damage, and Ari cannot clean up. And that's a double kill coming from the Caitlyn. They could have made it a 2 for 2, but it's just really rough when your Ari's just that far behind and not able to pull out the damage necessary to clean up Dark Knight and Shifting on the AD carry.
Absolute honorable mention to Conditioner there, diving directly into the mouth of the lion, I should say, you know, to try and he burnt them down so low. 2 or 3 members there easily within 200, 300 health of dying. And just the gold difference is just starting to show here. Just without that, he doesn't have a completed item yet.
Yeah.
It's just really looking grim.
And it's really looking unfortunate for him. So just a bit of advice to Conditioner if he watches this review or replay of the game. It's important to finish your mythic item. If it's GLP or it's some other Night Harvester item, it's important to finish that item or you will lack the damage. So hopefully he's able to recognize that and not spread out his itemization so much, or else he's just going to get punished for it. Even though Cannon does a lot of base damage and has good AP scaling, you still need to finish that first item. And the fact that Django has 2 items is just a confirmation of that completion of items in general. So I really like how Youngbloods are being really aggressive, but see, Casuarina Gentlemen are punishing them when they're over aggressive. But now they have the Baron, and it's looking a bit rough for Casuarina Gentlemen at the moment.
I really like what they're doing also. They are aggressively moving from tower to tower, taking it sequentially. They're really respecting CG here, not going for anything too crazy, doing this
methodically. He's not going to escape! No! Oh no! Cannon, Conditioner. This is what happens when you overstay. They just blindly hit the bush, and Brand's AoE is just too much, and now they have even more pressure to take an inhibitor turret with a 30-second CD, and Ornn just looking at the bottom lane like, I am unkillable, you cannot touch me. But at the same time applying pressure with the enhanced Baron minions. Unfortunately, Ari's opting to push the bot lane, which is probably a wise decision, but Superman a bit overextended here. They do have a bit of time before Conditioner comes back up, but a bit of cheeky shenanigans going on there. Oh no, he goes for a flash play, but he does not have the damage.
Great setup.
Wow, that is an actual great setup. And unfortunately, Brand is actually going to survive. No, Ari picks it up on the orb on the way out. Senna's trying to peel for a team as much as possible, but just does not have the damage. Caitlyn has a triple optic for the Quadra, does not get it, but Zack decides to pick that up. And that is an ace coming out of Youngbloods, and they finish the game, or they're about to finish the game, when the Baron dies out. So they force the team fight at the very last moment. It's unfortunate.
It's all just a formality from here, just closing out the game. Beautifully played from Youngbloods here. Just very clinical, very to the book, absolutely respected them through and through. Played it right. Took the objective sequentially, really just secured
All right, so George Bell.
The stat padding.
Snap opts to flash out, and congratulations to Youngbloods for taking the last game of the night. It was a bit hectic at first, but nevertheless, it did work out in Youngblood's favor. Nick Chu showing that he knows champions outside of his usual comfort picks, and Django going back to the orange, just showing that you do not need to play a carry champion in the top lane to support your team. So really good picks coming out of Youngbloods, and their composition pays off.
Yeah, just another stellar game tonight here. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite close as our other ones, but it's really just goes to show that, yeah, Youngbloods are definitely a top team. They are here to stay, and this just really gives me more excitement for the game that's going to be happening on the 17th next Saturday.
Ooh.
We are seeing Youngbloods versus Jewpies. Definitely going to be a very hot game to watch. Mark your calendars, people.
Yeah,
In
mark
saying that,
'em.
coming back to this current game here, yeah, unfortunately, just little mistakes coming out of Casuarina Gentleman. Conditioner not finishing his item until probably he was sent back home in that final fight. Superman, unfortunately, that build is strong, but it takes far too long to ramp up. Really would have liked to have seen potentially Lord Dominic's coming in as a second one here. That would probably be the only condition that should be able to start doing some meaningful damage. Frog
Yeah.
Spotter doing absolutely amazingly there. Dark Knight picking up sneaky kills in the bushes and just 1v1ing multiple people. Loads to discuss here. Where to begin?
It's really hard because I felt like Casuarina and Gentlemen definitely had a chance to come back, and they did have a good team fight a bit throughout the game. But Youngbloods just showing with their experience and their overall macro shot calling, just taking everything off the map from Casuarina Gentlemen, and they're not able to hold their base and eventually losing the game. Youngbloods showing a bit of versatility in their champion pool. We thought that Shifting's Caitlyn was not really necessary for this composition, but ends up coming up clutch with 13 kills and a 14k gold total gained throughout the entirety of the 30-minute game or 25-minute game. So stats wise, Shifting's Caitlyn is definitely popping off. But hopefully, Casuarina Gentlemen.
Here, look at the damage graph very quickly as well. My lord. Maybe don't peep it. Maybe don't peep that damage graph.
I mean, out damaging a brand is pretty hard to do sometimes. But I'm glad that Shifting's Caitlyn was able to pull it off. Now, let's discuss MVPs and SVPs. So we might as well stay on the hype train, which is MVPs. I feel like Shifting's Caitlyn came out and voiced the champion, saying, I'm still meta, I'm still able to play in this current scene here in the territory. First time we've seen a Caitlyn pop off in a game, and I'm glad to see Shifting do it. So he has my overall confidence for MVP. Able to weave in and out of traffic, so to speak, and finish up team fights, and it was an essential carry for Youngbloods. What are your thoughts, Gator?
Yeah, I agree. I think Nick Chu and Dark Knight are very honorable mentions here, both in their own right, doing a lot of work, especially Fast Runner. But yeah, just Sping doing far too much work there to really have much conversation about that. Doing the traps, they were just absolute. I don't know, Venus flytraps, just suckering them in. They kept walking into so many, and just it was a perfect counter pick to the center for Superman, and it just did not allow her to get off her feet at all. Kept her in check and just absolutely demolished the tanks there throughout the fights. So yeah, I definitely have to agree. Sping Ding has got it today.
All right, congrats Shifting on the Caitlyn MVP for this third game of the night. And now we have to go to the SVP pick, and it's a bit of a tough analysis to actually perform because everyone did sort of similar, but I felt like someone stood out on top a little bit. Who do you think that was, Gator?
I have two people in mind myself. I have very similar stat lines here. Frog Spotter and Iron Sigma, both equally doing a lot of work here. some reason I am feeling like I am leaning slightly towards Iron Sigma. He did go and make quite a few plays to try and bring it back. Definitely carried a lot of the late team fights that did arrive a little bit late for a few of them, but definitely did put the work in when necessary. Yeah, honorable mention to George Pell that was doing an immaculate job on the vision. It's actually really hard to stay on top of that as a support as well. Yeah, I'm still tied between Iron Sigma and Frogspot. Who have you got? You've got someone in mind. Let me know.
Based of what's occurred, I feel like Iron Sigma's Ari didn't do quite enough. Did have some flashy plays, but he did make some honorable team fight charms and was able to, get Brand off the back foot and pretty much CC him down. But Trundle was able to get a decent crowd control score, so to speak, weave in and out of team fights, able to pick up a few people. So it's definitely out of those two, so to speak. But just based off how team fights went out, I'm kind of leaning towards the Trundle here.
Yeah.
Just did a bit more overall, and if Ari wasn't so far behind, and able to impact fights more, arrive fights, looking for those picks, it was just unfortunate those fights were forced, and Ari was usually late to fights in general. But if you have to come out of vision to do that, so be it. But I'm kind of leaning towards Trundle here. What do you reckon, Gator?
Yeah, I'll definitely concede that one there. He did also an excellent job in trying to secure as much of the objectives as he could throughout the early and mid game, securing both Shellys to try and bring back that gold lead. Unfortunately, a couple of them did go. One of them did go astray, leaning on George Pellin himself there alone without finding the carry. But yeah, definitely had a not quite as he's not a very flashy champion, so it's very hard to see his impact within the fights there, but he was definitely present and doing a lot of damage, doing the equal damage to the T to the center. So yeah, I will actually I'll definitely.
Yeah, we don't see that every day. Equal damage to the T. Nice pick up there, Gator. So if Theater Zoe is watching, it's really good that you were able to camp that side brush in the bot lane to pick up center. That's what the power of vision does. And if you're able to be the little fire that you are, stay in a bush without letting anyone know, and then a fire coming out of nowhere, it's like really hard to react to. Unfortunately, was able to pick up the unaware Superman center walking into lane. So we haven't seen that yet, but in the scene till now. So shout out to Theater Zoe there. But as we go to the final standings for the night, once again, Youngbloods for winning game 3. We'll just have to change and transition to the tournament TV. So we have, I don't think it's updated just yet, but Jewpies and Youngbloods are tied for first, and Destiny is in second, and Corona Spaceship, Job Seekers, and AD Astra to follow. What are your thoughts of tonight's stream, and what do you think were the highlight plays that you saw tonight, Gator?
I think that it was pretty on point with what we expected to see there. Definitely a close game coming out between Destiny and Corona Spaceship. I'd say that was the funnest one to watch, considering how close it was. It was very tightly contested by CS there. In terms of plays, obviously Dark Knight here still lingering in my mind with those bush plays, playing hot potato with his pyroclasm. Just thinking back to the last couple games here. Unfortunately, my brain doesn't remember anything from the last 3 minutes onwards, so I can't
That's
make too
alright.
much comment on that. But I would say, in terms of actual League of Legends itself, and putting on a bit of a clean, Youngbloods would definitely put on a show on how to actually go through and finish a game super cleanly. I don't think there was really much of a question there who was winning this one through and through. Jewpies Angels, and for fun, was definitely still a close game, but not quite as clean as Youngbloods finished today.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, what a great 3 games. That was great. Not a boring moment.
Nah, it was definitely
Rock hard.
a lot of things happening on all 3 games, especially very proactive games, and the underdogs definitely taking it to the front runners of the scene. And just a bit of a shout out to the Leona, just knowing her stats and her crowd control score, and just able to impact the entire map. I did overlook that a little bit, but Youngblood's support on Leona definitely following up and enabling that Caitlyn to get such a big lead. So shout out to Leona there. My apologies for missing that. But as a first time streaming this competition here, but I'm glad that we got it without any hiccups or disconnects stream wise. But as we close up the stream, we'll just give a quick shout out to our major sponsors. Once again, sponsoring the NTEL Northern Territory Esports League of 2021, we have Northern Territory Government, McDonald's Darwin, and Paul's Ice Coffee, and all the minor sponsors as well, able to support the gaming scene here in the Territory. It's good to see competition and growth, and I can't wait for the event tomorrow, which is Geek Fest. So if you're heading down there, hope you guys have a blast. And thanks once again for all the viewers that have tuned into the stream, all your comments. I have recorded them. And if you've been proactive in the stream comment section, we will do a lucky spin for you next week, so that you guys can get some sort of giveaways, because I could not set up the spin wheel here in time. I did not have enough time to set up the stream as I just got home from work. But I'm glad that there's such a healthy community here in the Territory, able to support their local teams. A lot of shout outs to the supporters of Youngbloods, and well, I just saw a lot of Youngbloods support coming out of the chat. Same with Jewpies as well, and Destiny. So being the more consistent teams that have participated in the Intel scene or next tier territory scene here in the Territory. And what we'll do is, do you have any closing thoughts, Gator, for this stream?
Not this one. I've monologued a fair bit tonight, so I'll keep it short. Got some exciting games coming up on July 15 next Thursday.
Oh,
Spaceship
yes,
versus
yes.
Job Seekers Alliance, For Fun versus Destiny, and Destiny versus the Young Bloods. Highlight match for the night to keep an eye out for. More exciting matches also to follow on July 17th, the Friday there. Do keep your eyes out. Do mark your calendars, and we'll see you all there.
All right, so I'm Chris Strider. Thanks for tuning in. Joined in by Gator Cameron, being my wonderful caster. Hopefully we gave you an entertaining stream. The games have definitely been wonderful and exciting and definitely active. And I hope to see you guys in next week's stream. Until then, have a safe weekend and enjoy yourself at Geekfest.
Peace out, people. Bye.